All right, welcome back here to the Transparency. I am your host, Lana, and this is breaking search and rescue dogs near Annie Guthrie's home. This kind of came out about 45 minutes ago. JLR got in his car and he literally flew over to Annie's. It was in the area of Annie Guthrie's property, um, and the sheriff was bringing out canines. Again, I'm going to tell you guys my take on this right now. I said it in my last live update. I said once we got the images and the video, I said, "Oh my gosh, here it is." The person that is walking up to the camera, okay, knows that there's a camera there, but more importantly, does not want to destroy it. Does not want to spray paint over it, like spray paint. Does not want to rip it off the hinges. In fact, this person is going about things to literally preserve that camera. Um, they are seen in apparel that has no tags, right? There's no tags on. They also have what we see as a camera, or not a camera, but a light fixture that's coming from their mouth like a flashlight. This is something that you could put in your mouth. If you bite down on it, you can go ahead and shine a light. That's what we're seeing right here. Okay. But the big thing is that it was to preserve this camera footage, meaning we want to be able to use this Ring camera footage. They simply went over, grabbed some weeds, and then placed it over the camera before, I believe, then a knock, or rather a ring, happened. But the point is why would you do this? Why would you ever do this, right? Well, it's very simple. Because you want to use the camera footage, meaning you want to use the camera to create footage so that you can go ahead and give it to somebody. All right. What do you mean, Lana? Well, Brian Enton walked straight up to that door, right? Because they released the scene. If Brian Enton wouldn't have ever walked up there or had the ability to do that, I wouldn't have been able to see, just like any of you guys wouldn't have been able to see, that when this happened and he walked up there, his cameraman, we saw the blood. Where the blood is it's right in front of where the Nest camera was. It's right there in front. And I was like, wow, okay. Well, now we see what we see. And it's like they were preserving and not deactivating the camera because they were going to use the camera to make their ransom video. Okay. The ransom video came from the camera that was on the front of that home, the Nest camera. So here's how I believe that this played out. Hang on. Hold on one second here. Okay, so how I see this happening is that everything we've been told, I need you to forget about, because it was done on purpose. It was done on purpose. And what I believe it was done for is to create a way to so, hey, if we go ahead and put it out to the public that there's no camera footage, that she didn't have a subscription, okay, we couldn't salvage any of the camera footage, we don't have anything, then the people that actually took her, right, or the person, is like, wait a second, what? They didn't see my video then. But really, they did see the video. But here we need to portray it as like we didn't see the video. What does that do? Remember when I was like, man, I would flip the script on them, like this is human garbage, blah, blah. Not only would you have camera footage, but you also have audio. And I was like, why were they there for why was this person there, whether it's 1, 2, whoever many, 41 minutes when they say that they're trying to give us this time period. Okay. And again, I'm telling you to throw that all out. But since it has audio, they're not going to talk. They're going to have Nancy talk. So the blood starts and stops right in front of that camera. It's because they went in through that door or from behind, and it was all like a roost. Like if you ring the doorbell, okay, Nancy's like, what's going on? But you can't talk because the camera's going to pick that up. All right. Again, with somebody entering the back, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they brought Nancy out in front of that camera. And this is genius. Okay. This is genius because this is not traceable. We're going to use your own camera to make the ransom video. And while they were inside, he has the backpack, which is loading up, okay, all of whatever she's going to need. You need this medication, you need this, you need that. But ultimately, it's here, you're going to read this in front of the camera. And that's what happened, in my opinion, is that they used that Ring camera, which was a Nest, to come out in front. She, meaning Nancy, read off whatever it is that they wanted it to be read off. And then they pistol whipped her to the point that she, if you look at the blood spatter patterns, wherever they hit her is actually where when she went down to land, she hits the ground. And that's where that big impact is. And the rest of it is the droplets from the gravity droplets. And then you can tell that there's no blood walking away from right there. And we've never been inside the home, but definitely without a doubt, do I believe that she was like, put a bag over or, yeah. But that's what I believe happened here. And now what the world did, meaning the government, because they're trying to solve a case, I don't know if the family has the passcode to the mom's Ring camera, right? And so if that's the case, then if you're going to call me or let me know, like, hey, my mom didn't come to church, okay, and I am able to go on and check out the cameras. We were all told that there was no subscription. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that there was a subscription, okay? But hey, I'm just going to go check out on this app that I have and check out my mom's cameras. And then what am I seeing right there? I'm seeing everything that was left. But we want the world, including the person that abducted her, to think that that's not what happened. We want the world to think that that there was no video. Okay? So think about that. And now go back and now let's play this all out through our heads and to say, okay, now I see why. Wait, Lana, who sent the message to KOLD? Who sent the message to TMZ? The government. Because they wanted somebody to intercept this. Because what they were trying to create, in my opinion, is we need them to make a mistake and to contact, okay? Because we could do something where it's like, hey, if she doesn't have a subscription, right, then you guys would have never seen this. And if you don't have your phones connected to let's just go this route and say that we have no idea what's going on. We have no idea, have the sheriff get out there and act like an idiot and blah, blah, blah. All the while, that's just not what was happening, right? Because ask yourself this, who the hell would walk up to a door and make sure that they're literally preserving the camera? They're just doing things to, hey, we don't want you to see, but we're saving this. We were told that it was disconnected, and well, yeah, maybe at one point it was disconnected, or maybe it was just never disconnected. But at the end of the day, that camera was preserved to be used. And then what's right in front of it? Blood. And so I think what the government did is, all right, this is how we're going to work this. And we're going to do X, Y, and Z. That's just what makes sense to me. Why? Well, because why would you ever keep a camera around? They needed it. They used it. They used the camera. I would think they have the best of the best. You guys, they did have the best of the best. They've known all of this. Why would you ever tell us what the fuck you're doing? You would never do that. Unless you were a shitty ass department. Okay? So at the end of the day, I think that They knew what they were dealing with, and they tried to flip the script. And I think I am in love with the play. So, where's the footage of the blood spill? It's on every. Just go. It's been out there for 9 days. Go check it out. But there you go. It's the family has always had a ransom. There's always been a ransom on Nancy. It just wasn't in the form of an email to TMZ. It was never in the form of an email to KOLD. But the government made it seem like we never were able to see that video, even though we were. And so we're going to play it out that, and then, hey, somebody's trying to sneak in on your ransom here and trying to act like you. The whole purpose is to draw out the people that did this, like get them to communicate, show proof of life. There was no proof of life after, hey, you took her. So I think that it's pretty interesting. But that's what I believe happened. I believe that this was in his mouth. There it is. I do not believe that this is Annie or her husband. And I believe that they preserved, as the video has showed us, they preserved that camera footage or that camera to be able to make the footage that they didn't have to use their own camcorder and leave it behind, which is traceable. It was, we're going to use your own camera and we're going to use your feed right here. This is where we're going to do our ransom video, and then we're out. And there's no, it's not traceable. And so therefore then the only way that you're going to be able to find us, okay, is, so everything was put out what the demands are. So, does everybody understand that? I just wanted to be able to, for you guys, I wanted to explain what I believe took place here so that you can understand where my coverage is and why I'll be saying certain things that I'm going to be saying. I think it was very smart of, well, first of all, I think this is not some Joe Schmo. I think that they're dealing with not some fucking idiot. And then I also think that the government is not playing checkers. They're going to play chess. And somebody came up with the idea of to act like we did not get the message. So again, this is what I believe. I believe that the video that we've all seen, this person walking up, they knew there was a camera there. They have their head down for a minute, then they pop back up. And what you see is this, when it gets to, when they get to the actual camera, they don't use anything in their possession to touch the camera. They actually go and get the weeds, pull those out. So because they're trying to create, well, we're going to cover this a little bit, you know, we're going to take extra precaution. So they're using the weeds to go over the camera because they cannot destroy the camera. They need the camera. They're going to use the camera to create the ransom video. And when I say the camera, I'm talking about the Ring camera that was out front of her house. Okay. If you destroy that, which they did not, they walked up and they kept it. So if you take all of the evidence in totality, so what it looks like is that they walked up, preserving the camera, knowing that it was there because they're going to use it. Then they're ringing the doorbell. Okay. Nancy can't see anything if she was to look at her camera. Look out the door. Okay, well, what's going on? Whether another person came from the back end, okay, or it was all just done right there. The last thing that you're thinking of is that somebody's there to, maybe they had a voice recorder and they played somebody's voice. Hey, mom, it's me, whatever. But they used the camera so that, remember, this was a 41-minute ordeal. When they're in the house, then they're using the backpack to pack the stuff that she would need for this medication and all this stuff. But they ultimately used the Ring camera footage, the Ring camera to make their ransom footage. So they brought her back outside, put her in front of the Ring camera. While they were inside, they handed her, like, this is what you're going to say, because it's already written out. And then she is then reading from this script, Nancy is, in front of the Ring camera. Okay. And then, and then right after they're done with the script, I do believe that then they struck her with whether it was a pistol whip or whatever. But then that's when she then hits the ground, and that's where you see the main impact spatter, and then you see the gravity droplets, and then it's gone. Meaning that I believe that they put a bag over her head, and then they walked her either back through the house to go to the backyard or went out the front and wherever they were going. Now, where his gun is placed, that is normal for if you are driving a vehicle, you would put your conceal. That's where you would have your holster, and it's called like appendix position. And so if he's driving a vehicle, it makes sense that he would have it. You believe this with no actual information to back this up? Are you on fucking crack? I've been covering this case for, 10 days. I just told you where you can find everything. Go search. Go do your own fucking homework. How about that? When somebody inside the investigation spoke to Ashley Banfield, it was very, very bad. Like, we cannot have leaks talking about what they know. Ashley Banfield over here talking about Nest cameras. They had to shut that shit down. Okay, because we're trying to work an angle here to bring her back, try to get to these people before this deadline's up, right? And then, but we can't have that when somebody in the investigation is leaking shit to a media outlet. Like, you're strapping our hands on how we can play this all out. And so I said to myself, why would nobody would send a damn ransom demand? Why wouldn't you see the video and that he doesn't try to destroy the camera? Then you know that he wants to keep the camera there for a purpose. Whoever's telling you that they took the cameras with them, that they weren't there, you guys, Brian Etten showed up and walked up to that house. Of course, the sheriff could have taken the cameras at that point. The sheriff, and I would expect them all to lie to us and tell us whatever the fuck you guys want us to know so that we blast it out, and that's what the people that abducted her are thinking. Tell them all of this stuff. That is what you do. But when this little leak happened, immediately somebody leaked very, very crucial information, in my opinion. Like, they weren't wrong. It was Nest cameras. Ashley Banfield still waving a flag here. I have a very good source, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, your source was actually there, dude. Your source was there. Ashley, yeah, be proud of that. Well, I'd be so pissed. Think about if it was your mom. It's one thing, like, you can be a journalist, you can be the media, but for you to partake in getting and asking for information that you should not be having because it's an active investigation, like, you're just as much as in the wrong as the person that's working the case that you get fired for giving you that information. And that's what's pissing me off about what I see in these cases. And it's not just this case, it's happening all over the place. And we have our rights of First Amendment, okay? But you don't have the right to obstruct justice. You don't have the right to infringe on investigation, an active investigation. And like, if you want to play stupid and act like, I'm not going to give you my source, meanwhile, you know damn well that your source is somebody that's in the investigation. They were there at that house. So that's why I believe that the government, meaning the sheriffs, FBI, who's ever taking on this case, knows that, and they have a leak, and God, we have to shut that up. So here, let's go this route. And I think that the FBI and the government sent those emails out to Harvey and KOLD. Because it's very obvious that they did not try to destroy the camera, and they were trying to keep the camera on the front of the house. And then it's very obvious where the blood is. Okay, where is the blood? The blood is literally right in front of the camera. That's where the blood is. The blood basically starts and stops right there. And I called this. I said this. I said, guys, why does the blood start and stop right there? I said the injury happened right there. And then somebody stopped the injury from bleeding anywhere else. And then today we finally got the last piece of the puzzle, which to me is, oh my God, the guy walks up, because we were told this timeline, which was at 1:48, the Ring camera was disconnected. Well, then that tells me that this happened before 1:48. Because that Ring camera, as we all just saw, was not disconnected. In fact, it was preserved, meaning the perpetrator was like, I know that you're here. Hi, Ring camera. Hi, Nest. I want you to stay right there. I know that you're recording me. Why aren't you trying to destroy it? Because I need you. Because we're about to run this ransom. This is a legit kidnapping. And I want to make a bunch of money. But also I want to torture the family. Because I'm in a position, either I'm going to get my money or bye-bye, Nancy. So, when they came out and did this timeline, which it's been all over, 1:48, and then it was 2:12, and then it was 2:27. And I'm like, 41 minutes, huh? 41 minutes. Well, now we have this video. Where's the blood? Now there's, okay, so they wanted to preserve the camera. They weren't trying to destroy the camera. Why? Because they brought Nancy the fuck back out of the house. They sat her right in front of the camera and had her read the ransom. And that's why, go back and watch the 4-minute video. Hey, mama, hold on, and all that stuff. And they're acting like they have never seen anything or heard anything. No. Yeah, they acted like that to all of us because they were trying to make it seem like those cameras, hey, they existed, but guess what? There was no subscription, so it got recorded over, or there's just nothing there. And they were acting like they didn't have that information. They the fuck did. No doubt about it. 1,000%. I don't care what you will hear and read. They had it. But they wanted it to be to the rest of the world is that we didn't have any footage, which now think about it. If you're the kidnapper, you're like, wait, what the hell? Then they don't know that this is a ransom, right? Because our recording is on the Ring camera. Or if you're smart, you're saying to yourself, nope, they have it. They can say whatever they want to the public here. They have it. And then you see a couple days later, that's why it was like, why would on Sunday, or I'm sorry, this happens on Sunday, but why would on Monday Tucson get it? The local people would get it. And then the government gave it to the local here, KOLD. Then here, we're going to go to Harvey, TMZ. Harvey worked with the police to help do this. That's why I was like, Harvey, there's no way that he's just coming out here and talking like this in a very, very like delicate situation, unless that was part of the plan. And I believe that it was part of the plan. And the part of the plan is that so if you abducted somebody and now they're telling you that we don't have any Ring cameras, well, that's where our shit's at. And then you hear a day later that somebody else is claiming your ransom. Wait, what are you trying to get this person to do? React. I'm trying to get them to do what? Jump out of their skin. Wait, what do you mean there's a Bitcoin address? What do you mean there's this? That's not our shit. Oh my God, they're about to like send money to that's not us. React. Very, You got two brains working here. Let's go to
Well, first of all, I'm really encouraged because this is the first really big lead in this case that we have been made aware of. Now, the clothing is really unusual. The massive gloves that he had on.
Okay, do you see how he just said that we have been made aware of? Yeah, exactly. That we have been made aware of. If they would have released that, well, first of all, like obviously, if they would have ever released the footage that we have right now, then the kidnappers would have known that y'all had the footage that we left the ransom on. Okay. Remember, we don't deal with terrorism. Okay. We don't deal with terrorism. There is no place for that.
He wasn't taking any chance with fingerprints. And so that's significant. It also looks like, I can't be 100% sure, but it looks like he's got a gun as well. It looks like a holster and the butt of a weapon sticking out.
The question should be is why is it where it's at? And why it's where it's at is because that is prime location for the quickest to pull and make a move with it. But here you're going to get an 84-year-old woman. You know what I mean? But it's also, if you're the driver of a vehicle, it's in a spot that's the most comfortable for you to when you're driving. Now, so think about that. Is this a one-man band? And so therefore, he has it in a position that he just got out of a vehicle, wherever, even if he walked a little bit of ways, that he got out of a vehicle and it's sitting right where it needs to be because that's when you're driving.
The ski mask, of course, is to cover his features. But look at his clothing too. It almost appears that he's got something under the clothing, and it's a possibility that what is under that clothing is body armor. So
I agree. Really I think the person has body. Then you have to ask yourself this: why would you need body armor to go take on an 84-year-old? You wouldn't. I would need body armor though if I don't know who the fuck I'm dealing with as well. Okay. Like if somebody's going to try to double cross me, you understand? I don't need body armor to take on an 84-year-old. Sorry. But maybe they think that maybe she has a gun in the house, you know? Maybe they know that. The family would know that.
Significant break in this case. And from the clothing, there may be someone that may be able to identify it, but this is a big lead.
Awesome. Okay, so now we see this. This is that video, right? So now that you know, or like what we have here, so now let's do this timeline. We're going to go back to hold on one second. Let me pull this back up. I want to go back to this presser. And why I want to go back to the presser is because you don't realize the nuggets until, everybody makes mistakes. Let's go to the first one, which was, okay, wait, hold on, actually. She spoke with the I think the cops and the okay.
Open. That's what my source said. Says
This, her
he's
source.
shown the
Okay, so
video
listen. So her source is saying that the back door was
because
left
Brian
wide
identified
open.
blood drops at the front door, right? And he's shown the video of it. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
However, my source says the back door
Okay.
is wide open. Back
Just-
door left wide open.
just
That's
right
what my
there.
source said. I had a
Right there. You see that? Right there. Like literally looking just right on that.
Megan, half-hour conversation.
And you know what's right in front of you right there? What's that right in front of?
Back door
What
is
is that all-
wide open. Back door left wide open.
All of that is
That's
right
what
in
my
front of
source
what?
said. I had a
Freaking camera. Okay? The freaking camera. So here, this guy walks up, preserves the camera. We cannot destroy the camera because we need that camera. We're going to bring her back out because we're going to use this camera and we're going to use it to make a ransom video. Okay? But while we're inside, we are, you know, or if it's just one person doing things. Okay? We know that they have devices. You don't want anything to be tracking you, okay? But you can destroy things if you want to destroy things in there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you grab her medicine, whatever, they were in there for some time, saying some things to her, giving her whatever you had already, probably already here. You're going to read from this. You just didn't like write it right then and there. Taking the stuff, putting in your book bag that you need for her, because if you're trying to make money, you need her to stay alive. So then you bring her back right outside in front of the Ring camera. And now if we go and listen to what the sheriff is talking about at 148, this whole disconnect. And then 212. And then 227. And it's like, well, guess what, guys? Guess what we know didn't happen at 148. Ready? At 148, we know that this Ring camera was not disconnected, right? They preserved it. So that tells me that all of this, what we're seeing, had to have happened before 148. Okay? You understand? The 212 is the supposed motion on a camera. And then they were saying, we don't know which camera it was because she didn't have the subscription. Well, guess what? Not true. Then what do they play dumb with? They send the FBI back out there and act like they did not know that that camera existed where it existed, out on the roof. Okay? And so they're doing all of this. They want the media to be where the media is at. They want this rolling, oh yeah, let your drones up there, do all this stuff, show all of this stuff, act like we have no clue what the fuck is going on. Why? Because we want the person that took her to think this. Okay? So 1000% all chips in, without a doubt, that person walked up to that door before 148. Because nothing was disconnected yet. Or if you want to even, that's even saying that that's even true. But I think that there would be a little bit of truthness somewhere. So I'm going to give the timestamps meaning, but I'm going to say that the timestamps aren't indicative of what they're trying to say that they are.
Megan,
Now, in order to get Ashley Banfield to shut the fuck up, we need to send a letter and a note that basically what her little dude gave her the intel on, we need to put that in a ransom note. And so like, yeah, this is real because we put the iWatch in this location when we left. We did this. We kicked out the floodlights. We did all this shit, right? Well, I believe that the government sent the ransom note that went to the outlets, the media, That was the government. You would never ever hear of why in the world would this dude send his ransom note, and he didn't. He did not. Their ransom note was left on that Ring camera. Period. 1000%.
Half-hour conversation 2 days ago.
I watched it.
The sheriff, yeah. And I specifically said, so are you telling me, when you said that she did not walk out of that house on her own, I said, are you telling me that she might have been carried out of that house?
Now think about that. How in the world would that sheriff know that? Because he saw the video. Because there's video. And he said he was speaking a little too much. Okay. To say like she didn't walk out of there on her own. Okay.
And I used the word over the threshold of the front door. And he said, I didn't say front door.
Exactly, because they didn't. Okay. Because after they used the camera and they pistol whipped her, then they take her back into the house and back out the back door. That's what I believe. Also, what makes you that it was even working? Because when they got in the house, they looked at the devices. Okay, that's how. This is a very sophisticated kidnapping. This is not. This was not done by a neighbor. Okay, you can believe me or you don't have to believe me. It doesn't matter. You guys, if you think that they just found this video today and they released it to us today, then y'all are motherfucking nuts. Okay, I'm gonna release something that I don't have my team working on for like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours before I'm gonna just give it out to all of us. Get out of here. Why would you ever do that? We're not owed anything. This is evidence in a goddamn murder or a potential murder. We're giving out evidence. But no, it's like, no, we're not. Hey, we want you to look at this and tell us, do you know who this person is? They've had this for a long time. And my First Amendment right allows me to opine on it. That's the luxury of First Amendment. People that get First Amendment confused, shame on them, right? This is my opinion, and it's based on the circumstances here in this case.
But he didn't say no carried. But when he order maybe to see any blood, but not impossible. So I'm trying to go.
But couldn't they have gotten her in the car, Ashley? I mean, like, I'm picturing a scenario where couldn't all those facts.
Okay, so let's get rid of them. I just wanted you guys to hear that one part about so let's go back to this, and now let's bring in this we got with the interview. Okay, now we're going to go back here. Let's listen to the 4 minutes.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
That's where the video ends. It loops back to the beginning there. It's a short video.
Okay, now before that, this is all ploy. All of this is a ploy. I would be using the media to my advantage as well. I'd be putting out stuff to the media that I would want, X, Y, and Z, like, go, please start chasing shit. Okay. Hold on though. I want you to, where's the first one?
on it. Brian Enton, who continues his terrific go about back to
continues, and I saw it with my own eyes just a couple of blocks from her home here in the neighborhood. There were about half a dozen sheriff's deputies kind of in a field area doing what looked like a grid search. We don't know exactly what they were looking for, but they were clearly still searching. We also saw a helicopter up late last night for about an hour, just circling over Nancy's home, very, very low, with two deputies looking out the helicopter, looking for something. Something else brand new, Connell, just within the last 20 minutes at Nancy Guthrie's daughter's house, Annie. That's about 10 minutes from here, Savannah's sister, Annie. We know that there are federal agents that were back at the house again, and but we know that they also do other.
Had actually been removed. The sheriff would not, and I don't believe
tonight.
Okay, here.
Well, I have an impeccable source, a high-level law enforcement source. Connell, I've been doing this job.
Okay, high-level law enforcement search. This is a Fed. Okay, my opinion is that this is this is somebody high level, okay, in that area that they were consulted with relatively quickly.
For almost 4 decades, and I've made a lot of friends in the FBI, made a lot of friends in...
Right there, what's the first thing that she says? I made a lot of friends in the FBI. I mean, could also be ATV or ATF, but this is somebody high level. I've made a lot of doing this for how long?
Border Patrol, made a lot of friends in local law enforcement all around the country, and this is one of my best sources of all time. So
this means that this is a consultant. This is somebody that consults on cases. In my opinion, this is somebody that has knowledge, intel on what that inside of that house looked like.
this is an impeccable source, and I don't believe this source would lead me down the garden path. And what that source told me was, number one, there were Nest cameras, plural, and they were smashed, and that they
Nest cameras and that they were smashed. Okay. Well, this is what this person wanted to get out. Okay. Keyword, Nest cameras, and that they were smashed. Okay. Get this out. We need you to get this out. Okay. That's the big key part that we missed. We need you to get this out. That it was Nest and that these were smashed, meaning that the video that was on those and that was taken from those Nest cameras when they abducted her and did the ransom, get it out that therefore we would not be able to know what was on them. But yet it's like, who cares the fuck about if the camera is smashed? It's what's on them beforehand that is already there. It's already recorded.
been taken into evidence. Brian Enton said there were Nest cameras, plural, and they were smashed, and that they've been taken into evidence. Brian Enton saw that the Nest camera on the front of the house had actually been removed. The sheriff would not confirm or deny that they've been smashed or taken by either the sheriff or the suspect, or whomever committed this crime. I was also.
But yeah, just a second ago, she said that they were taken into evidence. Her source says that they were taken into evidence. The cameras were. Okay.
Also told the back door was left wide.
The cameras don't matter, though. Those cameras don't matter. It matters what you're like. It's all going to your subscription. It's all going. It's all being downloaded. It's all wired. It's Wi-Fi. What do you mean? Who gives a fuck about the cameras? It's just they wouldn't record after that point. But before all that, they would be fine. And here now, what we know is that they were used to record. Okay. And that's what they did. They wanted to preserve the camera. This person put Nancy in front of that camera and had her give the ransom read off right then and there. That's what went down. And then this happened, which was the, on camera, pistol whip. And then she hits, blood, boom, bag out the back.
Open. It's fascinating to see Brian's video of the blood drops at the front door. So that leaves open another part of this mystery. What happened at the back of the house? See
how there's no smears on either end of the door? I was like watching that over and over and over. And I was like, because this was somebody that could not use their hands. Okay, so if their hands are duct taped or whatever behind their back or in front of them even, okay, they're just standing there, okay, or kneeling, whatever, and they didn't have the ability to then grab at something once you get injured, okay, and then boom, bag over. Because look at, you see how there's no smears if they're going to take her back in and go out the back. There's no blood anywhere, okay, and they would not talk about if there was blood inside the house or not. He just said there was blood there, obviously, and it came back and it was positive for Nancy's. Yeah, right out in front of that Ring camera, that's where the blood is. They use that camera as their, and it was genius because it doesn't trace back to the people that did it. This is why that's genius. And that's why they knew that they were, dude, okay, think about it. You didn't leave your own recording camcorder there for them to see the camera. And then, hey, press play. Okay, press play. And then they watched a video of it like that. Nope, this is how they did it.
What happened at the front? I was also told that the car belonging to Annie Guthrie, that's Savannah's sister, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, had been towed and taken into evidence. And then the critical line from this high-level law enforcement source was that the son-in-law may be prime suspect at this time. I also want to say this. I don't doubt for a moment that the sheriff's office has it in their best interest to put out that statement. But I've been to this rodeo before, and so has Brian Enton. On December 19th, the Moscow police identified Brian Koberger through genealogical DNA found on the snap of the knife sheath. December 19th, 2022. On December 20th, the day after, the police chief said, no suspects have been identified and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate and updated progress. So I have been there before when the police quietly among themselves identify someone, but publicly tell us nothing to see here. That's not to say that their information could change. I saw it change with John Ramsey.
Awesome. Great job. Now let's go over here. Where is, come on, his stupid interview. Author identifies. Okay, let's see.
Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker
yeah.
stopped transmitting. DNA recovered inside the home has now been confirmed as her DNA. And just moments from now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Press conference.
What is that? Or ask
on the flip side here, this is Sheriff.
Good morning. I don't know that everybody knows who's here. Of course, I'm Sheriff Chris Nanos. John Edwards is the Tucson chief here for the FBI, and he'll have some words for you as well. This is really, for me, pretty new. All so we're going to try.
In terms of what the FBI is doing, it's JONEDWAR, that the FBI is doing everything in our power to bring Nancy Guthrie home to her family. The FBI is working alongside the Pima County Sheriff's Department on this incident. In terms of what the FBI is doing, we are providing the following support. Primarily, it's analytical and technical support in the following ways. We're downloading and analyzing cell phones, obtaining cell tower information, conducting interviews, and providing any and all investigative support that the Sheriff's Department needs. We're looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January, or Sunday morning, the 1st of February, please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home. Thank you.
This was a random abduction or targeted.
It's like I said earlier, we're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
What Nancy Guthrie was wearing, or the type of car that she might have left from her.
Okay, watch this.
Identifiable information that the public could use to help with those tips.
We do not.
We do not. Lie. They do. See his other answer, like he was not. I'm not going to answer that. But watch when he gives an answer that
we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
Go one.
Sheriff, is there any indication so far as to whether
here, watch this answer.
this was a random abduction or targeted?
It's like I said earlier. We're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
Okay, we're looking at all the leads. Like, what are you talking about? We're asking, is this a random? Was this targeted? What? We're looking at all the leads.
Any idea what Nancy Guthrie was wearing, or the type of car that she might have left from, or any identifiable information that the public could use to help with those tips?
We do not.
Sheriff, do you believe that one or more than one person was involved in the kidnapping?
I just no clue. It could have been one. It could have been more. I don't know. Let me get
No clue. No clue. We don't even know that answer. No clue.
one second.
Is there any indication that Nancy Guthrie is still alive? We know the medication played a critical role here. It's been 48 hours. She needs it every single day. Are you looking for someone that is still alive?
We hope we are. We hope we are.
Sheriff,
We hope we are.
earlier that you don't believe there's a wider threat to the public. If you're not sure if it's targeted, why do you believe there's no wider threat to the public?
Well, we have crime in Tucson all the time, right? Like any city. And so when you say a threat to the public, is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case.
I love that. I told you I love that answer. Great answer, because that's a complete, like, clearly it's targeted, motherfuckers. The hell you think this is?
We do believe that.
How is it not? Do you guys not know what the word targeted means? Do you guys know what the word of opportunity, opportunity, okay? Opportunity. This is not a crime of opportunity. I think that anytime somebody goes into your motherfucking house, it is, you are targeted. It does not mean anything other than they went into your home. This wasn't a crime of opportunity that you were walking on the sidewalk, or you were walking down the street, or you were at the fucking bowling alley, okay? And you got hammered, and then you're passing out, and someone's like, oh, let me give you a ride home. That's a crime of opportunity. Okay? Somebody goes in somebody's house. It is, what do you think? Like, they sought that shit out.
Nancy was taken from her home against her will.
Thank you. God damn. What a stupid question.
And that's where we're at.
Sheriff, when you reference violence.
But let me tell you why media people want to harp on that. Because they want to incite, if we get more information, if we can get the community to come out and say that they're in fear. Because then you have to give us more information. And that's bullshit. They try to get me to say that in the Tepe murders. And I was like, what is wrong? I'm not scared. Nor do I live right down here. But I'm definitely not scared. Even if I lived down here, I would not be scared. Okay? Nobody's breaking into homes for the purpose to rob or do anything like that. Like, it was an isolated, targeted attack on those two people. What would be, I don't want to say scary, but what I would think is a little ridiculous is that you guys didn't come out and just announce that, hey, this happened, and we're on this, and all's good, whatever. But I mean, shit, they don't make those type of announcements when it's a black person. They don't make those type of announcements when it's a, think about it.
At the site. Can you elaborate on that? And also, was there a sign of forced entry, any valuables taken, any bank or ATM cards used after her disappearance?
We're not getting into that. What I tell you is, like any crime.
Can you elaborate on that? And also, was there a sign of forced entry, any valuables taken, any bank or ATM cards used after her disappearance?
We're not getting into that. What I tell you is, like any crime scene, we processed this crime scene. We gathered all the evidence we could, to include looking for what? Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine. And we gathered that out. Those things have been submitted forward to labs, to technological companies to help us. And we're like you. We're waiting for those returns to come back.
Did you find DNA that did not belong in that house?
The window of time from when she was last seen to when she was reported missing. And I know you guys are asking for help from the public. Is there any way to narrow down?
Okay, do you understand that on Monday, when this is happening, this is 48 hours. So, and why they're saying 48 hours, it's interesting. But there has been no talk about a ransom letter. Okay. So I need you guys to understand this timeline is that he came out to say what?
What time you might.
Based off of what I just told you guys, they know that it's a ransom. And I personally believe that someone was going to blow the lid off on that. And it's like kind of like when I went and got hey, I want the body worn camera of the officer that went to the first wellness check over the house and he said everything was fine. He just left. I want that body worn camera because I don't believe that that's what happened. Okay. Well, guess what? What ended up happening right before I got that video that I was going to blow the lid off? Well, they have 48 hours to, hey, chief, you might want to get in front of this, but this girl, she's a pretty big YouTuber in Columbus and she's about to put this out. So you might want to get in front of this. So if Ashley Banfield was about to blow the roof off of something, then let's derail this. And that's why I believe that the government would have been involved with putting out the fake ransom one that went to KOLD and to TMZ was to get in front of Ashley Banfield and whatever the hell was given to her by the high level person. So if we can get in front of that, if she's going to be breaking it, that it's ransom, we need to get in front of that. She cannot break that. We need to do this.
I know there was a report about a pacemaker.
That's what I'm trying to
around 2 o'clock in the morning. Is there any way to indicate to people, hey, look around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to help them identify?
I really don't want to get into narrowing down the time because narrowing it down means we can miss some tips and leads. We're working on with the data we've submitted for investigative analysis.
See, no timeline. Because they're acting like they don't have a timeline. Because they're acting like the cameras aren't, there was nothing there.
We're working to see if that time can be tightened up. But for now, we're going with what we told you earlier. She was dropped off at 9:30 and she was found to be missing at about 11 o'clock Sunday morning.
Sure.
Let me get this one.
DNA of anyone else found in the house?
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate.
Listen to that question right there. Was there anybody else inside the house? Wait, what?
Let me get this one.
DNA of anyone else found in the house?
Let me get this one.
DNA of anyone else found in the house?
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
Anybody in the neighborhood? I know you're looking at video, different surveillance camera, anything that we should be looking at, different cars.
I have nothing in that regard.
How does nobody know about flock in that area?
Have any demands been made by kidnappers?
Right there. Has any demands been made by kidnappers? Who asked that question?
I have nothing in that regard.
Have any demands been made by kidnappers?
We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on.
That didn't even faze him. That didn't even faze him right there, ladies and gentlemen. Ring it on down. We just got
camera, anything that we should be looking at, different cars.
I have nothing in that regard.
Have any demands been made by kidnappers?
We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on.
Sheriff, we noticed.
Nobody had a follow-up to that? Nobody had a follow-up to that.
Sheriff, we noticed that the camera on the front of the house is missing. Do you believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that. We're looking into that as well. Yes, sir.
That's been fully processed now.
Boom! I love it. This is everything that I'm talking about. And then here's the camera right on the outside. We don't know. We're looking into all of that. We don't know. Everything that has to do with this ransom real video is all in on that front camera and everything. He wants nothing to do. Talk about like back to back there. We're not. This is all tells.
Notice that the camera on the front of the house is missing. Do you believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that. We're looking into that as well.
Okay, now I said to myself, and I said to all of you guys, why did Brian Enton word it like that? Brian, you got there on X amount of day, okay? Of course the camera is going to be gone because one would think that the camera was actually taken by the sheriff's department, okay? The camera, why would you even ask that? And that's because of Ashley Banfield. They're working in tandem here. And it was like, hey, ask this question. Ask about the camera and why it's gone. And it's like, well, why wouldn't it be gone? It would be taken in for evidence. You know what I mean?
Sheriff, we noticed that the camera on the front of the house is missing. Do you believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that.
Do you believe that the perpetrator purposely took the camera? That is coming from fucking inside this goddamn investigation. Don't know that. That is the most bizarre way to ask a question. Do you believe that the camera that's missing outside the front of the house, that the perpetrator took that camera?
Working on.
Sheriff, we noticed that the camera on the front of the house is missing. Do you believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that. We're looking into that as well. Yes, sir.
That scene been fully processed now. We saw deputies leave around 6 o'clock last night. We didn't see.
Now, we know that the perpetrator, when they were there, actually preserved the camera to keep it right there intact to be able to be used for the purpose of what? They didn't try to wreck it right away. They didn't try to disconnect it right away. And then what do they try to come out and do in the next presser? They tried to come out and put this little timeline together. Okay. And it was to shut down the freaking huge leak.
Tape go up. An Amazon driver was able to walk right up to the door. Is that pretty standard for how you handle this?
The scene is done. We're done with the residents. If we need to go back, text the family and let them know, but we've turned that over to the family. I don't have the time, but it was sometime yesterday, I believe.
Did you cover any tire tracks or any
No, ma'am.
footprints around the house?
No.
No, ma'am.
Was there
Shannon, would you please take us through the timeline that you've established of the events so far and what's the mention?
9:45, 9:30, 9:45, we were told she was left at her home by the family. At 11 o'clock in the morning, the family got notice from somebody at church that she was not at church. They were.
You see how? You see that? No talks about cameras in the first 24 hours. Okay. We don't have cameras. That's why they go from 9:45 a.m. and they're using a garage door opener and they're using 11 a.m. as church, not talking about anything in between that to act like they don't have anything between that. Okay. Which is playing along the same thing that I've been saying, which is we need to let these people that took Nancy believe that we didn't get any recording. We didn't see your stupid fucking ransom. Okay. We didn't see it because the cameras don't work. There's no subscription. So like us going back and looking at something that was already written over. Okay. Well, I knew that I was like, even if they don't have a subscription, it does not write over like that.
Went to the home, found her to be missing. That's the timeline.
That's the timeline. See that? And that's just not.
From Saturday night, 9:40.
But that's smart. But that's very, very smart because the way that they were going to roll this out was that they never got that ransom.
5 will say.
But somebody on the inside blew the fucking lid off. Why do you think Brian Enton got his ass the fuck down to Arizona so quick? Why do you think Brian Enton was down there? Intel. I don't understand how the presser shuts down the leak. They got in front of it. Because they were trying to get the person that actually took her to reach out again. And if we make it seem like to the world that there is no camera footage of anything, that means your stupid little fucking ransom video that you made with Nancy didn't get seen. So then what do these people that want this money have to go and do? Reach out. That is what this was all about. And it's genius and it's smart. Okay? And so either the person on the inside, okay, that gave the intel to Ashley Banfield, you can either say that they were told to do that, okay, or they made a huge mistake and they should be fired. And when I say huge mistake, so that's what this is all about, is that they were telling the world that there was no cameras, that there There was nothing to be able to be seen, which meant if you were the person that abducted her, you're over here like, oh my God, what the fuck? That means they didn't see my ransom video, right? And so you better reach out. Oh, you get it? Like, this should just be like a really, like, you understand? That would force you to do what? Reach out, make a communication. Then that's where Savannah's over here saying, here's my IG, here's my Instagram. And I'm over here thinking, there ain't no motherfucking way they will ever reach out to her Instagram with what? Whose Instagram account? That's straight. I mean, what? That's not going to happen. Yeah, let me just hit you up my Instagram to your Instagram. That's just laughable.
Sunday morning, 11 o'clock.
Have you been
Let me get somebody back here, please.
You interviewed the people that reported her missing, the people from the...
That's the family. Oh, from the church as well. We're doing all kinds of interviews. Yes, I'm sure we have.
Have you been able to access the footage from the cameras at the house?
Right there. What a question.
We're doing all kinds of interviews. Yes, I'm sure we have.
Have you been able to access the footage from the cameras at the house?
That's all been submitted, and we're doing our best with those companies who own those cameras or built those cameras.
Are there any plans to release those videos from the cameras?
Those companies who own
from the cameras at the house.
See the cameras at the house was the question. And then he just lumps it into all the cameras.
It's all been submitted, and we're doing our best with those companies who own those cameras or built those cameras.
Are there any plans to release those videos from the cameras, from the surveillance? Are there any plans to release the video from the cameras, surveillance footage?
We don't even have them yet, so no, not at this.
We don't even have them yet. We don't even have them yet.
Time. This is an active investigation.
This is an active investigation. We don't even have them. That was for the kidnapper. But the kidnapper was like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because we know that we didn't destroy them. So they have wasted a lot of time? No, they haven't wasted a lot of time. Not at all. No. They're playing chess. Why would you sit here? Think about playing hide and go seek. Do you tell the person where you're going to go hide? It can't be that. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, no, you don't. Go, hey, media, come here. Let me just tell y'all what we're about to go do. Hey, guy out there who has her. This is what we about to do, motherfucker, okay? No. Hey, media, you guys want to roll in it? Come on. Come on down. Let me use you so that we can save a woman's life. But if anybody in my department goes and speaks to somebody and tells them and fucks this all up, then there's a chance that Nancy's not going to make it. You understand? And I just hope for Ashley Banfield's sake that she was part of like the, hey, we want you to put this out. Otherwise, I'm sorry, but it's not okay with what she did. And it's definitely not okay with what the person that provided her with that information did, because that's the person that Ashley didn't come up with it herself. Okay. And then it just reminds me of like, oh, well, you know, Ashley's over here in 2012 wanting to know if Jerry idiot Epstein is single in 2012 after he's already been, I don't know, roped up for fucking charges for diddling little kids.
Suspicious man a few doors down last week. Is that anything that you guys are
There's that.
I'm not aware of it. My detectives may be. There's a lot of detective work being done, and I just can't get into those weeds or even just.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the evidence in the case. It's just that simple.
Today, are there specific resources that maybe the board has not granted that would have made a difference responding to this case?
Well, you know, that's getting into my own local politics. I apologize. Yes, the board a few weeks ago denied a request for more cameras, more drones, more
flock,
more AI
flock
capabilities with our own body-worn cameras. All those things, you know, that you'd have to talk to the board. I'm not probably not the right time to go into this.
Sure.
Let me get somebody else here.
Sheriff,
Yes.
she's still in this area.
I don't think he's
Do we
being
believe?
She's still in this area, or is there somewhere else?
We don't know where she is. So you like any investigation. You start from the point of where we last saw her, and we work out, and
inside out. Yep.
we're working as far out as we can go.
Sheriff, can you walk through, were there evidence of forced entry at the house, like any broken windows or whatever? Or does it seem like people just went in and out?
There are concerns at the house that concerned us from the early on part of this investigation, and that's all I would tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, is there any history with Nancy needing police at her place, or concerns where she was worried about somebody following, or?
You know, our investigative team has looked into all of those things, and that has not been brought to my attention. So she may have had something like that. That's all I would tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, is there any history with Nancy needing police at her place, or concerns where she was worried about somebody following, or?
You know, our investigative team has looked into all of those things, and that has not been brought to my attention.
Okay, so right there, I think that we should do a FOIA request based off of that right there. I think that he answered that to say what he thought, and I think that we should do it. And it should be of every place that's on that street.
So we constantly use them. They have great dogs too. Our dogs aren't asked for help from, whether it's the FBI. I know if we needed help from CBP or DEA, not just at the federal level, but across the state, every one of them saying, Sheriff, you need anything, we're here.
So you obviously said investigators, when they got on scene, they found suspicious circumstances. When the family called originally to report her missing, did they say anything about the state of the home?
I don't know that. I don't know.
I don't believe that.
Hang on, let me make sure.
I mean, I should take that back. Yeah, I do, because he didn't take the time. Just listen to the 911 call.
I'm getting some different people here. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so there was blood that was found inside the house and you're testing it for DNA. How much blood and where was it?
I'm not saying there's blood inside that.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I wanted you guys to hear. People that are saying that there was blood inside the house can literally get royally fucked. He never said that. And I'm going to say this, but Lana, you said that he's lying about things. Yes, but I am saying that. But I'm also saying that he's never said there was blood inside this house. So he's just never made that comment. And I wanted everybody to hear that.
The house or outside?
Blood that was found inside the house and you're testing it for DNA. How much blood and where was it?
I'm not saying there's blood inside that house or outside that house. What I'm saying is our team processed a scene like you would think of any crime scene. We go in and we process it. We look for things like that: blood, DNA, any kind of physical evidence, fingerprints, anything. And all of that is gathered and submitted to a lab. That lab will report back to us what they find. So far, that what we found from that lab is nothing that would tell us this is who did this.
We'll take a couple more questions, and then the sheriff's got to go.
Sheriff, can you walk through the evidence that was found at the scene in as much detail as possible?
No, I cannot.
So at the point right here, at this point, we haven't seen Brian Etten doesn't have that video. You understand? That video is not there.
Back to the surveillance footage. I know you said some of it is in the cloud, but you've also been reached out to tech companies that are saying they're cooperating. Why do you not have the surveillance footage?
That's what I tell them. How come I don't have this? Where's my evidence? It is a process, and I'm sorry, but we're grateful that there's large corporations and companies who have bent over backwards to help us, to say, hey, Sheriff, tell us what you need. And so yeah, I can't slam them, and we've asked them. They know the urgency here, but I'm like you. What do you mean I don't know that now? Yeah, it's tough.
I think he did a great job there covering that up, because they did have it. I think he did a great job there of acting like they didn't have it. He did a great job of selling this.
Bent over backwards.
As much detail as possible.
No, I cannot.
What is the problem with the surveillance footage? I know you said some of it is in the cloud, but you've also been reached out to tech companies that are saying they're cooperating. Why do you not have the surveillance footage?
That's what I tell them. How come I don't have this? Where's my evidence? It is a process, and I'm sorry, but we're grateful that there's me, and so but we have a job to do too, and I really need to back away from this for a while, and we'll see you unless something breaks. We'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give you.
And that's when shit hit the fan, was the Thursday morning one. So if we go now to one-on-one, when Ashley talked to Let's Okay, so we go to her podcast here, and we're going to go to the interview where it's here's the interview that she did with the sheriff. Woohoo! Yeah.
That can get us usually 5 to 10 days.
Okay.
Are you able to tell me where?
So,
Life fresh there in description and Tri-Cook Unity 50 in depth about our investigative information and interview, and there is information about DNA. There is ransom. I have information. I have entry. I have information for you about ransom. I have information
right there. What? Okay, take a look. February 2nd. February 2nd.
Lot of information that I didn't hear earlier in the news conference. I'm going to bring all of that to you, but I want to take you to the beginning. I want to start from the very beginning in how the story broke, what happened, and how Savannah and her family even discovered that their mom, Nancy Guthrie, was not at home and that it was no accidental disappearance. So you would know by now, obviously, that Savannah has been for over a decade the host of the Today Show. And I should just let you know that this was really, really hard on her colleagues at the Today Show. Craig and Chanel opened the Today Show today. Look.
Right to what Savannah, right on 490.
From her home in the Catalina foothills is 84. Okay. And she was reported missing on February 1st from her home in the Catalina foothills. And that's just north of Tucson, Arizona. You should know that the call came in mid-morning on that Sunday. Okay, Feb 1, and it has been around the clock since then. The family members said that they were first alerted that something was wrong when somebody from Nancy's church reached out and said that she wasn't at church Sunday morning. But what's important is that the sheriff told me that the family members, there was a member of the family who had dropped her off the night before. I think the time was around 9:45. So the last known sighting for Nancy Guthrie was when the family member dropped her off on Saturday night. That would be the last day, 31st of January, at around 9:45 at night. And she might have been getting ready for bed and, maybe taking medicine. She takes medicine every single day, critical medicine. This is important. You're going to find out about this. Critical medicine. So as soon as the family members heard from this church member that Nancy hadn't shown up for church, they went to the house. And whatever they saw, they realized something isn't right. And I'm going to tell you all the signs that they saw that we know about, that when the police saw that, they knew right away there was a big problem. But the family members called 911 right away and said, we think our mom is missing. And so the elderly woman, 84 years old, maybe wandered off, maybe signs of dementia, that kind of thing. No. Nancy Guthrie does not have any dementia. She is, as they say, sharp as a tack. Followed right away. There were ground crews, K9 teams, drones, aircraft. Get this, more than 100 sheriff's department vehicles and law enforcement vehicles surrounded Nancy's home and began the investigation. Homicide teams came right away, even though they thought this could be a missing person, right? An accidental or a forgetful or something. Homicide teams were in that house right away. And that was the indication there's something more here, right? So what began as the missing persons case, that has now escalated into something way more serious because now the search and rescue operation.
What would be a homicide? The camera.
Or an indication that they need to reignite it. That worries me. And you're going to find out why. Because clearly the word that comes to mind is kidnapping. And so I asked the sheriff, do you have a kidnapping on your hands? And he was very blunt with me. You're going to hear that in just a moment. What he said was the indications at the home were so suspicious and unusual and unsettling that all indications early on made them believe that it was a criminal investigation. And as the day wore on, it 100% became a crime scene and a criminal investigation. So the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanos, confirmed that investigators say Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is a crime. And after processing the home, the sheriff actually said that there were things that not even seasoned detectives, but all the detectives realized right away. And I know what you're thinking, maybe she was picked up for, and a family wants to be really clear about something right away up front. They say that she was of sound mind, fully competent in that way. Ability issues, the stuff that comes with age. When you're 80, sheriffs say she has to take them every day. And in a 24-hour period without taking them, it can be lethal. Now, I don't know what kind of ailment she might have, but what I tell you is that Sheriff Nanos made it abundantly clear that the investigators do not believe that Nancy Guthrie walked out of her house of her own volition. They said,
why? Why do they think that? Because they have the video. Now, listen to this. The family has just come out about an hour ago, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more actually, and they said that we believe that our mother is still alive. Okay, so now I'm going to bring up this whole medicine issue. In order for you to write that you believe that your mother is still alive today, and just like writing that an hour ago, okay, that means that you have reason to believe that when she was kidnapped, that they had her medicine, okay? But why they were telling everybody, because they were acting like they didn't know anything, is because don't act like you know about the video. Is so like, hey, she needs her medicine, like whoever, you know. But for you to put out a message today that said that we believe that she's still alive, then that tells me even more so about what I'm talking about here, is that in that backpack went the medicine.
She was taken out of that house, forced out of that house. They say she can't walk more than 50 yards on her own.
She was taken. She was forced out of that house. Well, you can just say, oh, look at the blood. Or now we know what we know, which is there was cameras and they used the cameras and there was blood right in front of the cameras. So let's go and just assault her on camera. Come on, y'all. We got this.
That might take you to a driveway, right? Might take you to a long driveway. But after that, it's not like whoever takes her or forces her is going to be able to walk her a long way away to a waiting vehicle that was trying to, spirit themselves away from any. Where are they forcing her to? Because if she can only get, kind of to the driveway or just a little bit down the driveway, but barely much longer, there has to be a car in the vicinity, some kind of a vehicle. I asked the sheriff about this. You're going to hear from him and what he had to say. And actually, he was quite surprised at the line of questioning. The authorities local report that says her purse, wallet, cell phone, vehicle, all found at the home. The sheriff confirmed definitely the cell phone and her vehicle. He was going to look up just to double check on the purse and the wallet, but it sort of stands to reason, doesn't it? If you're leaving your home and you're leaving your cell phone and medication. And I should tell you, the sheriff talked why they believe that she's without a medication. We'll talk about that in just a second. The detective if you have no detail, it's too small. It ought to be, turned on. Teslas can actually operate as like a 360 camera. A bad guy can run by a Tesla and you can see it, right? So there could be things like that. And then, of course, the ring cams. That's what they're really looking for. They're asking everybody for their surveillance footage, and they're already getting it in, and now it's just a matter of real-time eyeballs. And you know what that takes? It takes real time. One person on one camera going slowly so that you don't just miss a little figure. You can't just sort of half watch it or speed it up. It's one person looking at that in real time for the duration of the time.
Time again have proven themselves and have proven themselves. And I just know we're going to get this resolved.
Is there an area in Nancy Guthrie's house of particular interest where it was more clear it was a crime than some other circumstance?
I wouldn't, again, I can't talk to specifics about what we have in that home. But there's definitely, in our eyes, on our belief, evidence that shows, it suggests that she was removed from that home and against her will. We continue to look at some data that we think is available. It's just taking some time to get downloads in that, whether it's digital imagery from a camera to tracking a cell phone. There's just a lot going on in technological sense of gathering that kind of evidence. So that's all taking place. I think I mentioned we're working with a lot of partners, not just in the law enforcement community, but in the private sector. Some of the big corporations, Apple, Google, whatever, they're all jumping in. So it's never fast enough, right? So that's our challenge.
There was a report that the front door was wide open. Is there any veracity to that report?
I don't know that that's accurate because it could be. I know that report. That's our challenge.
There was a report that the front door was wide open. Is there any veracity to that report?
I don't know that that's accurate because it could be. I know that when we got there, the family was already there and they'd already spent some time looking, as you would expect. Probably we got an hour delay there from them. Not anything intentional, just that, they went and looked and made some calls and then they decided we better call 911.
So think about that. Let's talk about that. An hour delay. Okay. The family was there, hour delay. Okay. So if that's accurate, this whole stuff about getting there at 11:56 a.m. and then calling at 12:03 p.m. that we got in that later timeline bullshit.
Was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside Nancy's home or even
I cannot give you that. I would tell you that it is our belief she got there. We got there. The family was already there, and they were they had already spent some time looking, as you would expect. Probably we got an hour delay there from them. Not anything intentional, just that, they went and looked.
So what that tells me is that if we get a call at 11, and then we got there like, I don't know, 11:10, 11:15, and he's just saying, we got over there at 12:10 because the call came in at 11:56, and I think that they got there like, I don't know, 12. They got there 10 minutes later.
Looked and made some calls, and then they decided we better call 911. So
was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside Nancy?
You know what normally happens when they tell you no police, no nobody, right?
His home or even
inside? I cannot give you that. I would tell you that it is our belief she did not leave that residence on foot.
Right there. Wouldn't they do the video inside? No. They have a gun to her head. And she read off whatever, and then they pistol whipped her, and then that's where all the blood came outside right in front of that camera. And he says it right here. How would you even make the comment to say that she was not on foot? Like, hello, to say that.
Yeah, I cannot give you that. I would tell you that it is our belief she did not leave that residence on foot.
Did not leave the residence, the actual home itself on foot, did not walk over the threshold.
That is correct. We do not believe she left that home by herself on foot. That did not occur. And she has a vehicle.
It's been confirmed.
We have that vehicle.
Awesome.
She is very capable of driving.
That's what the amazing part about this is guys, anything that they have said to us to say that this has been confirmed, okay, there is no such thing as confirmed. In this case, they did the right thing, and they're allowed to do this. They're allowed to tell us whatever the fuck they want. Okay? So there is nothing that's been confirmed in this case. Absolutely nothing.
Physical limitation is really just her.
So now let's go outside the home. And again, we're all human. We all make mistakes, even when we speak, anything that we say. So if you want to know about this case and you want to truly figure it all out, it's staring us right in the face, but you got to be patient and you got to go back and look at it. And if you do that, then you will see that. Let's go with the person walked up to the door and kept the camera intact for the reason to do what? To make a video. And this is all for fluff. All of this right here, this is exactly what it's being used for. Keep occupied. GI, we can't be so smart only to be so stupid. It compromises more than money. Reports emerged regarding a $10 million life insurance policy taken out in Nancy's name, allegedly signed 24 hours before she disappeared. Lana, true?
All right, looks like there's a chopper nearby here.
No, I haven't heard that.
Going around.
I believe that withholding
information
of surveillance can encourage offenders to make contact,
Flight radar 24
deviating from their plan, giving police leverage without risking the victim.
Person going around. I don't know.
Ding, ding, ding.
There's one going up.
Somebody's paying attention.
United States Army that way towards.
Yeah, we have.
That's what they wanted the sheriff to shut the fuck up.
Probably about 15 miles out.
There's a
The
chopper.
sheriff's like, listen, Okay. I also have people here, like, we have to, like, then just tell them, yeah, it was isolated, targeted. Yeah, this was targeted, clearly. But they also can't say that because they don't want to give away the fact that they have cameras. They wanted the perpetrator to believe that they did not have their little ransom demand on that camera. Okay.
FBI still going door to
Buying them time. Okay, it's all a game.
No idea where the SWAT went, but they're saying SWAT,
It's a game of
bomb
life.
squad,
It's a game of life or death.
tactical team went somewhere.
People texting me about that.
Centered around this.
It is?
That's what Fox is confirming.
See, Fox is confirming. Yep.
SWAT could be related to Annie Guthrie. SWAT, at least 10 agents in this neighborhood right now. No, I don't know where SWAT is. We're going to stay where we're.
This is perfect. This is what they want. We're going door to door. And they want all the cameras to be following them around doing this. And this has nothing to do with shit.
He just asked the neighbor, or they just asked the neighbor if he let them search it. He said, yeah. He's helping.
Yep, keep the camera crews busy. Just so you guys know, that's not where I would have my camera. I'd be outside of the sheriff's department. Right.
Dude, agents are all over this neighborhood. I saw 3 groups of 3. Who's this? Agents from Texas. Get back here.
It's just a car with Texas plates, like a rental.
Unfortunately, they have. Yeah. There's like that.
JLRs. This is what you call ambulance chasing right now. Yeah.
He just looked he took a flashlight and took it into the pipe. There's a pipe.
All right, let's see if again, this is what I think that the guy had in his mouth. There's that. There's that. The person looks like Annie. It doesn't look like Annie. Looks like none of them. But let's see when you want to talk about. Let's see what the
All right, they're at this house here.
Okay. Let's
wait and see.
Let's compare what I have said to those that are in the industry.
Video and still not seeing a timestamp on the video.
That timeline that they've been talking about at length for the last several days. So if I remember right, something happened at around 1:47. I don't know if it was the camera going offline and her phone stopped communicating with her pacemaker. So, but there was something around that same time. So that would fit with if this is an accurate timeline. And it's but yeah, that's critical to line up this particular event, how long it took, and with their timeline that they have from inside the house. So what that tells me is if they were able to get this front porch camera to get the results from that after it was damaged and now missing, then the inside cameras are going to have that same information available. And it took a long time to get this, apparently. So maybe they're working on that. If they were able to get images from outside, then I don't see why they wouldn't be able to get images from the inside.
This is why.
Inside.
This is why.
Yeah. Vicky here says backpack looks more trackable to me. Any guesses on the backpack here?
This is why, in my opinion, we struggle in life. Okay.
Backpack looks more treasures. That's for sure. Someone here says the guy is left-handed. That's a big clue. You guys are helping us. He has a mustache and beard. You know, it's some of the things factually from this video that's being reported.
Can I say one thing about the clothing and the gear and all that stuff?
You can say three things.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
here's what I would suggest there, that these items were all purchased at the same place at the same time. So that even pairs it.
Dude, there is no tags on anything. None. What? What are you talking about? Interesting here. Let's go back. Grade myself. See if anybody's going to be saying what I'm saying here.
Shot, but something is reflecting off of his face.
I'll say it once. I'll say it again. We got the best guests in true crime, and right now
it's a flashlight.
You're watching two veterans who are literally. Savannah Guthrie here. Guthrie is a lot. Not every day you hear this either.
Right there, you can see
just
it.
a couple things. Then says it's a flashlight in the mouth, which it looks like it could be. This also, by the way, is the video loop. So let's watch this.
Right there. You could see it right there.
And COE, I think there's one or two other loops. This is very eerie. Just a couple things.
And see, they know that the camera is right there. Okay, they're keeping their head down.
Reddy, the press secretary for the United States. It's not every day you hear this either. Says that the
guns right there, holster.
Any Americans across the country with any knowledge of the suspect to please call the what that is. Calling.
This is who the heck is this guy? And you can tell he was very well prepared for what he was about to do. He's taken extraordinary measures to cover the transfer of any DNA with the gloves and the mask.
How come nobody's talked about the fact that he didn't destroy the camera? Let's see when they want to talk about that. What do you gather? The fact that the blood's out right in front of there. He doesn't destroy the camera. In fact, he's going through lengths to preserve this camera.
His shoes. You know, he's got his hands wrapped up or gloves on pretty good, and there's no space between the gloves and that jacket. So
he's double wrapped.
This guy was ready to go in there and in my view, take stuff out of the house. That would be the purpose of that backpack. There's to cover up the camera, because it looks like he tried to displace it, but it didn't work, and so he's got some shrubbery that he's going to try and cover the lens of the camera. So at what point?
Why? Why not? What's all this? Like, I thought the camera was destroyed. I thought it was disconnected. Okay, let's see when they consider some stuff. This isn't amateur. This is very smart. You don't want to take anything that's yours and put it so that you're transferring DNA onto the fixture. So that's why you go and you grab the shrubs, like where like weeds are. You go and you grab those to try to cover it up. That's the smartest move that you could have made.
That camera come off. We know that it came off, but at what point did that happen? And was it at the same time that the blood was left on the doorstep. Did that have something to do with it? This is really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. Savannah Guthrie again saying she believes her mother is still alive. Man, what a story this is. Just take Ben's eyebrows. But one thing for sure, it's because that came up in the Koberger case, and of course, actually half step back here. This is what we have. When you're watching this, what are you looking for here? What are you, with your seasoned eyes, looking for?
Well, the oddity here. Well, we're looking at mannerisms. We're looking at how he walks, how he's approaching. The head down is kind of interesting, and it looks like he's looking on the ground for something, especially when he makes the entry.
He's looking on the ground for something. Oh my God. Is this for real? he's looking on the ground for, I'm just going to fall over now. I can't believe this shit, man.
Into the
I don't ever watch this shit, so I don't know.
Of course, we don't know what he's doing, but it's interesting that he's
he's avoided the camera with his head
down and all that. Now,
why does he have his gun where his gun is?
He certainly doesn't do anything. I guess he feels comfortable that he has covered himself up with a mask enough to be able to look directly into the camera when he sees it. But then he wants to cover it up and that kind of thing. And then we know what happened. Yeah, I was going to say the 511s. I've got a pair of those. Not fixed. I got
511.
That he has.
Might stop.
Phil, I've got 3 pairs of those. They make great work pants, especially
already doing this. They go to, if those are in fact 511s.
Phil Ramos.
Well, let me say something about the pants.
Yeah,
about the pants. If those are in fact 511s, and I'm sure they're already doing this, they go to 511 and they find out any pants that have been ordered, those types of trousers that have been ordered over the internet, over the website, and they have stores. They have freestanding stores. Any of those?
How come there's no tags on anything? There's 0 labels. Let's see when anybody wants to talk about that.
Those types of trousers that have been sold, and if they can identify who may have purchased.
No label on the book bag, no label on shit. 0 labels. Very smart.
Just those plans. Now, it's going to take a Herculean effort. Be a lot of information, but there would be a way to maybe track down those pants to an individual. See how many people in that Tucson area bought those kind of pants, and then you go through sorting them out and eliminating people.
I mean, Phil Waters, how do you do that? I mean, how?
Well, I think if it were me, I mean, I would go back. I would probably go back a year and see what kind of information that would garner.
I think that's the last thing.
Maybe not a bad idea. There's probably a lot of people wearing them.
So if I remember right, something happened at around 147. I don't know if it was the camera going offline and her phone stopped communicating with her pacemaker, but there was something around that same time. So that would fit with if this is an accurate timeline. And it's but yeah, that's critical to line up this particular event, how long it took, and with the timeline that they have from inside the house. So
okay, so my answer to this would be like, well, clearly the camera's not being destroyed, it's being preserved. So this has to be before 148, right? Because if you're going to sit here and say that it's disconnected, or are we going to just throw that completely out the door? Because why is he preserving the camera? How about that?
Tells me is if they were able to get this front porch camera to get the results from that after it was damaged and now missing, then the inside.
So they're under the assumption that this camera was damaged and missing. If they were able to get this, you guys, the camera being damaged has nothing to do about the video footage. I don't understand what they're talking about. The camera is preserved for the ransom video. Oh yes, that's what I said. I blasted that out to the outlets.
Cameras are going to have that same information available, and it took a long time to get this, apparently. So maybe they're working on that. If they were able to get images from outside, then I don't see why they wouldn't be able to get images from the inside if there's cameras inside.
Yeah. Vicky here says backpack looks more trackable to me. Any guesses on the back?
How many people have a Nest or a Ring camera? Do you guys look at the camera footage from? You guys go outside and take down the camera, and you need that to view the camera footage? Nope. Huh. So what does that have to do with shit if the camera is destroyed or not? With anything? That would just be for future, like video footage, like past that point.
Back here, and I apologize. COE's on the road, so I'm hitting video. Also, any mask that's tight fitting will distort facial features, mustache and beard from
the clothing and the gear and all that stuff.
You can say 3 things.
So here's what I would.
It's an honor to have both of them on. Do you agree with that assessment? It's tough to even tell, sort of what's going on here, but does that appear from what you have seen?
Oh, that guy's not cross-trained. So.
Okay. So I just want to fill in some of the gaps because we leapt onto this live here, and I just like a bat out of hell. So this is the first time law enforcement has publicly acknowledged a specific individual on camera. Authorities again are calling this person a potential subject, not a suspect or person of interest. Generally, at 1:47 in the morning, if that is a timestamp, we don't know for sure. Someone shows up in a backpack, a mask, and a gun. I would say it's good, fairly safe to call this person a suspect. So I don't know what the hang up is there. Connie says he's got facial hair. Investigators believe, according to reporting, that he has relevance to the crime. Again, I don't think that is rocket science in any way. It shows him approaching and entering Nancy Guthrie's home. Phil Waters, to you, if they have this video of this guy here, someone said they believe that the FBI and Pima County would also have video of Nancy being taken out of the home. Do you agree with that? Do you think they have video of her being dragged out of there? We saw blood on the front stoop. What say you?
Is that coming from an STS?
Someone on STS said, that they're betting.
I agree with it. In fact, I just kind of took the words out of my mouth. We got to remember that we're being shown what the FBI and the detectives have released to us. So if they got this kind of video, I would imagine there is a lot more video that they are going over, and it is giving them a kind of a timeline and the motion, what's going on inside the house. That's what I'm hopeful of. So if we've got this, and then there's a question about, I read somewhere where the Nest cameras were not, she didn't have a subscription to it.
And you still believe that? How about we would have what? A ransom video?
Which is interesting. And I'm not sure. I mean, I have a Nest setup that I'm subscribed to, but I don't know if Google Nest can still store video from the cameras, even though there's no subscription. I would believe if they could. And so even
why aren't you saying things like, you guys, they can tell us whatever they want. It doesn't make it true. Okay. Clearly, if you have all of this, where'd it come from?
No, there may have not been a subscription. They were able to pull this off of the from Nest. And so this is why it's taken this amount of time. We talked about before. They've got to get search warrants. They've got to get court orders. They've got to get subpoenaed. They've got to get things to get access to all this digital information. And it takes time. So now here we are. We're seeing the fruits of their labor. And we're seeing a limited video because they want us to see the possible suspect and anyone that they
there we
down right away. He doesn't have a screwdriver with him or a knife to pry it, off of its mount, and then he doesn't. Or burglary, scary.
The two Phils, one spells it F-I-L, one P-H-I-L, but this is the surveillance footage. What is your initial reaction to this?
Oh man, it was truly shocking, scary, but a lot of things stood out to me. One of the main things is that this individual appeared extremely calm. If this was your run-of-the-mill home invasion or burglary, you would expect a lot more movement with a purpose. He was extremely comfortable outside. He didn't rip the camera down right away. He doesn't have a screwdriver with him or a knife to pry it, off of its mount, and then he goes down and grabs with it.
He says he didn't rip it off right away. He doesn't rip it off, period. We don't have any surveillance footage of him ripping shit off. Okay. Nobody has said this yet. Unreal.
His left hand, what looks like some shrubbery from out front to cover it. I mean, that's just
why
seems to me that's someone that's comfortable with the area.
But why are you covering the camera and not destroying it? That's the question. Why isn't he asking that? Like, why are you covering the camera? And it's very important.
Yeah. Kurt, just speak to us a little bit. I'm assuming you're in Tucson right now. My wife.
Like, come on. Why aren't you asking them that question?
Literally, people, at least in the Catalina foothills, are walking around like in a daze. Like, are people as stunned?
Area. My house is pretty much coming out from the sheriff's department or the FBI.
Deciding whether to release it or not. So that could be part of the.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that stick out. So yeah, they could go, and check REI, 511, the internet. But heck, it was a lot easier before Amazon, right? Because you were limited to, a geographic area where someone would shop. Now you can get stuff online from anywhere.
Yeah, Kurt Dabb, former or retired homicide, once the homicide detective, I think.
And you really can't see your neighbors because of the.
Familiar with Ms. Guthrie and knows what those habits are and feels comfortable being there because they know that at this point, they've got an idea of where she is. Now, that's why I want to know what the timestamp is on this. Is it before she got home or is it after she got home? If it's after she got home, then I would have to say that this is somebody who showed up when they believe that she's going to be in bed. That's her normal habit at whatever time this occurs. So it's, again, we're only seeing what we've been shown. I'm sure there's a lot more of information, clues that have been taken off of the total amount of video that they have been able to develop. So
They are not that.
This little tidbit, though, is very interesting. I agree with Kurt. I think, that brings up the question is, how did they get there and what did they leave in? And but it looks like, those lights in the background are look to be stationary.
This is why it takes as long as it does, y'all.
This story is bringing in a lot of new people to survive and survive.
I'm being serious. Like, this is why shit takes as long as it does, because it is just the facts. It's nobody, not one single person has said, oh wait, isn't that right where the blood is too on the ground? That just starts and stops right there too.
Survivor, real quick, every night, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The show is called Survive and Survivor because my mom, who's in that level, maybe she should have been a detective. I don't know. Some other comments come ahead, but someone says someone else here. Phil Ramos, do me a favor. We're not homicide detectives. The three of you guys are. How do you watch this video? How many times do you watch this video? What are you looking for?
Now that they mentioned the gloves, I had thought about this earlier. It looks like he may be wearing two pairs of gloves because of the way they fit. You see right there, see how wrinkled it is right there on the backside of his hand, and in the finger area, it's pretty wrinkled. I think he may have another set of gloves underneath there, but here's the thing about the gloves and the gun. Those of us who have handled guns all our
very thick. It's like cushion.
careers, you're not going to wear a pair of thick gloves.
You can't get cut and have any of your DNA potentially come out. That's why. It's like you're protecting like your DNA like from being left at this crime scene.
And be able to access your gun right away because your trigger finger is not going to make it through the trigger guard. So you're going to either have to take those gloves off if you intend on firing or double action it. But that's a very inconvenient way to number one, carry a gun, and number two, try and use it with a thick pair of gloves on. It looks like he's having trouble holding it in there anyway. You keep grabbing it. And
what?
It looks like he's having trouble holding it in there anyway. You keep grabbing it. And two, try and use it with a thick pair of gloves. You just sit there and
Kurt Dabb, it appears to be consistent with a 4-year-old woman, but
didn't see it, so I'm glad that they released. I guess they said even though they didn't have the cameras right away, that there was an image sensor or now with the didn't see it, so I'm glad that they released that information. But you have that confirmation now with the timestamp from when there was. I guess they said even though they didn't have the cameras right away, that there was an image sensor or something that triggered around that time. So now you're looking at like this individual or individuals were in her house, for a little over 40 minutes. Again, if it's going to be a home invasion or a burglary or,
more than that, it's more time than that because this clearly has to be happening before this gets disconnected. And the disconnect is the first thing that they're putting on the timeline, which is 148. This all has to be happening before 148. Period. Like there's nothing, like there is no other explanation.
Armed robbery from a home, they're going to be in and out. And from what we
if you believe that timeline at all.
know, and they may be keeping this close to their vest, but from what we know, and from what I know from speaking with some of my partners, that are still active, there was nothing stolen from the house that, has been released. There may have been, and they just haven't released it, but a crazy struggle or anything like that. So this individual obviously was.
This has been a ransom case this entire time, and none of these people are connecting the dots that hello. I mean, this is mind blowing. I don't have time. I do my own work. Ding, ding, ding. It hasn't donged yet. So frustrating. Feels like yelling. Would really hear me. This is unbelievable, though. This is in real time, though. You guys get to see, like, I cannot believe that you have 4 homicide guys up there. Or what do we got? 1, 2, 3. And none of them are saying, hello, guys. Like, the blood's right there. This camera was preserved. It wasn't destroyed right away. And there's been camera footage this whole time. Like, this was used to actually make the ransom video. Because that's where the blood is. Because this person is going through great lengths to preserve the camera here. They're not walking up and destroying it.
Extremely comfortable, was not feeling rushed, and I agree with peeling them off, putting them on. So
it really helps us a lot, and it's relatively simple. Coming back with this is just to focus on the newly released surveillance video and stills, and then at 8:30 tonight, barring real breaking news on this case, Brian
don't know that it's just
well-known
my
true crime reporter and a friend of ours is going to join us at 8:30 to take questions from all of you.
Okay.
So
Well,
he's been
here
on
we
the
go.
ground from the get-go. But again, please subscribe, and we've got an active Patreon page. Now, Phil Waters, I know
I'm
you're going
not
to shake
sure
your
where
head
the
at this one
spot's
because I know
going.
you well, but some people are saying they think this person looks like a woman, not a man. So how do you confirm Kurt saying
Hands up and is coming through the archway?
Being that this is,
It's just interesting.
Oh, here
I
they
was
went
thinking,
the
well, they're
blood.
going to have what they're doing, but
yeah, Kurt just mentioned it. Phil Waters mentioned it. A home invasion. Now that this is not touched,
Hoping there's going to be some sort of DNA transfer. If you have no low velocity, medium velocity, you have drops, and I've seen the same thing at Brown. Drops look take. She's being carried out of there or assisted out of there, and these drops, from what I have seen at crime scenes, are consistent with a head wound.
Yes.
So you have the head.
They hit
you
her
can
in the
take
head. She falls down, and that's where that bigger spatter pattern is. These are gravity droplets.
I can speak from experience because 2 weeks ago,
Right there. After you get pistol whipped and whatever you're hit with, it's just like if your hands are behind your back, your hands are forward, you're tied together, and you fall and and then you're getting picked up, bag over the head, taken back inside out the back door.
I bashed my head.
Oh, look it right there.
Had to get 6 stitches.
Right there. What do they see?
Yeah.
What's right there? Wow. That's going to take place right in front of the camera.
And the drops looked exactly like that, coming off my head onto the ground. And so, and I've seen the same thing at a variety of crime scenes where you have drops, but you have no spatter here. You have no low velocity, medium velocity, high velocity spatter.
What?
Now there may be a low velocity, and it's exactly get 6 stitches, and coming off seeing the same thing at
there.
At a variety of crime scenes where you have drops, but
right there.
But you have no spatter here. You have no low velocity, medium velocity, high velocity.
I disagree.
Spatter. Now there may be some in the house. We don't know, but of course this guy's armed with a firearm, so we don't know if there was a shot fired inside the house.
Okay,
There's no firearms evidence in the house that we're aware of.
Wait.
Or it may have
Right there. What's
been
that? The camera that they were preserving.
It may have been a pistol whipping.
Yes.
You can lay somebody's head open, take one whack with a
Yeah, you can.
pistol, and bam, you got blood.
Boom.
So very interesting. I know somebody commented about how he was looking down because he didn't want to look in the camera. Well, then he stands up and goes walk and looks right at the camera. So I'd have to tell you, I'm still of the opinion that his looking down was making sure he was stepping in the right place. But
I'm sorry.
And like Kurt said, we've all said, you know, that we're only seeing a snapshot here. Detectives have that they are part of the event, and we can let those other guys go back to work. So,
family first and pet section, triple Q. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And
We believe she is still alive. That would mean that she had her medication from Jump, just so we're clear.
we have a 3-panel
anybody
guest
talk about
show
that?
every single night of the week on the biggest.
I'm going to talk about that. In order for them to say we still believe that she's alive, you would have to believe that she always had her medication and she was never without it. Which leads me back to believe about the whole thing on Toya dude.
Case she up again to Kurt Dabb, who's retired with the Pima County Sheriff's
I
Department.
think that the person could potentially be left-handed.
And as far as that ransom note, 100% could have just been a red herring.
By the feds.
Red herring. The ransom note came, I think it was 2 days or a day and a few hours after the kidnapping. So, you know,
After
it could have
interviewing
just,
with Ashley Banfield, after doing the first presser and interviewing with Ashley Banfield, okay, when she already knew, when she interviewed that sheriff, she says the words ransom. There had been no ransom note. There had been no TMZ or KOLD. And Ashley Banfield says ransom. that this is a ransom? Yeah, because there's a video of it. And that video was on the Ring camera. It was on the Nest camera. The Nest camera that her source saw and knew. And then they got in front of that.
Been
That's my
part of the,
I'm all in on
you know,
that.
the kidnapping itself, but not really meaning to take any money. It was just to throw investigators off
I
to
thought that
make
first.
them, you know, work a little
I
extra.
1000% thought that first, because based off everything they're saying, until this video came out. Once this video comes out, it then changes it all again, because this person went through the lengths to preserve the Ring camera footage, to use it, or the Ring camera itself, preserve it, to use it, bring her outside, put her right in front of that. Okay. And right where that's taking place, she's reading off what they had told, you know, obviously they had prepared. And she reads that off, and then they hit her, and then she goes down, and that all happens right in front of the camera. So they see that she's bleeding a little bit, and then they bag her. So this is 1000% now, in my opinion, based off of the camera footage that they just produced to us today, that the person that went there, they didn't go up to the camera, and how it's been perceived to everybody is this timeline and making it seem like that you took out the cameras at 1:48. That is not the truth. They preserved the cameras to use the cameras, because that is genius, is absolutely genius, to be able to get your ransom demand. And then that's why they came out, meaning they, as in the sheriff's department, the government, saying, we don't have any cameras. We don't have any cameras. That was a way for them to buy time and to say, hey, the people that it's out there that took her, they're like over here, like, what the hell do you mean you don't have any cameras? Like, that's where our shit is. Okay, like, how are we going to know about this? So we need you to reach out. Like, they're doing that on purpose.
Harder.
Yeah, listen, I got to go here, even though I don't want to. But someone here said that's not Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law.
Again, like I numbers, but you obviously have.
For this very reason. And I always tell everybody, man, turn your front light on. Don't make the house look like it's empty. That's the first thing bad guys look for, is a dark house that looks like it's empty.
COE, could you turn the front light on? We never have our front light on. I'm learning stuff now. COE, get that light on, please.
That what happened to Ms. Guthrie is connected to the ransom notes. I think we may have, I'm kind of with Kurt on this and Phil, that I think we had a criminal entrepreneur who saw a moment of opportunity to take advantage and run out an extortion attempt. Now, I may be wrong, maybe completely, but that's the way this, now having seen this video, I think this is going to be more local. I think it's going to be closer to her, and somebody that knew her habits, may know her. I see where they're taking read where they're taking DNA samples from people that did landscaping for her, caretaking in the home. I just think it's going to be a local thing. Now, hopefully we will find.
You guys, those lights that are on in the back, just so you guys know this, the terrain there, when you go across, that goes up that hill. That is way further across the road, back by where JLL has been parking up that way. Those are the lights on from that house. It's way down across. Okay. It has nothing to do with any vehicle. And simple geometry will tell you that as well.
That later. I mean, obviously, whether or not that the ransom note is connected to this event. One of our SDS we do have some of the smartest people
I'm just getting dumb
that are in the SDS nation.
This is why I don't listen to anything. Like, I'll tell you guys, I'll give you guys my perspective of something. But not a single person has mentioned anything that I think is remotely worth a damn. Sorry. And they want to go hunting down fucking Walmart brand shoes and clothing. you know. So yeah, no, sorry. It just gives me a headache. Just wow. Where I come from, if you leave your lights on, you're not home, right? Remember that back in the day? This is just so targeted and so thought planned, you guys. This is a lot of planning. Okay, to the point that, guys, hello, she's not home and no one's been caught. She's not home and no one's been caught. So clearly this person didn't, like, you know, now they know what IGG is capable of. Look at how they dress themselves. They are so layered up, man. They got gloves and then gloves underneath just in case they were to rip for some reason. Not because I can't take on an 84-year-old, okay? It's because, like, you're, hey, IGG, Wild Wild West. This is a very, and you guys, I hate to say this because I don't want to give props to it was ingenious. It was to use the Ring camera as your way to send the ransom. Like, so smart. So smart. Very, very intelligent there. There's no I'm calling from a number or, hey, I'll be in touch type of shit. Okay. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they sent them on a scavenger hunt, more or less. Okay. It's, you know, after you pay, then so I don't know. They said they wanted proof of life. They didn't have proof of life. My other question is what if they were to, if they took the camera, I don't think that would work. I think it's really smart. This is a guy. 1000%. This is a guy. The walk is what gives it away. That is not a female's walk. They had this camera from jump. And then this almost, and it still could have gotten fucked up because of Ashley Banfield and her source. Somebody leaked very, very, very important shit. And I think now it makes even more sense that the family would call, because, you know, that's exactly what you would do. You wouldn't call the police right away. If you know that there's a Ring camera, I'm going to check the Ring camera. I'm going to check the video, right? I'm going to go in, I'm going to check it all out. Especially if her phone was left there, right? If her phone's left there, you know, daughters get into it, put the password in like you know it. That is, if you do know your mom's password. And then you go and you check the app, and then you go back and look at the camera, like the videos, and you're like, oh my fucking God. Then if you read one of them and it said, do not get the police involved and you need to destroy the cameras, okay, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. So what if the family went ahead and did all of those things and then they decided, okay, we're going to get the police involved? Or, I mean, I believe that the video existed right away. I believe that they viewed it. I believe that a bunch of phone calls were made. And then the police came in, and I think that everybody knew immediately what it was. Okay. And then somebody decided to leak information to Banfield. And yeah. Sorry, I think that they use this in their mouth right there. Press that on their teeth right there. Click, click, flashlight. It was to shine the light on when you're dealing with that camera. By having the light like that, you can't see the person's, mouth and teeth. You don't want them to see your teeth. The cameras or the light is coming straight from your mouth. So you're trying to keep your teeth protected. And then you're also going to be able to shine that light right into her eyes. But I think it's more for the camera so that you're not able to get that means that you would have practiced this. You would have practiced all of this. The only way that you would know that this type of stuff would work is if you practiced it. They knew from jump what they were dealing with. And then they decided that we were going to act like the cameras didn't have a subscription. And then therefore we didn't see that. We didn't see the ransom note because the ransom note is actually a video. And we're going to act like we haven't seen it yet. And that bought them, the whole. And then I personally believe that they were trying to get the person that took her to react. So if we're out here saying we don't have the cameras, that means that you guys couldn't have viewed anything yet. And I think that they went in also to the house to see if there was any bugs, any cameras that they were able to view. The people that took her are then watching from the inside of the house. If they bugged it up, if they put cameras in there to see what's going on. Okay, to see what, hey, where did you view any of this stuff? What did you do? I believe that remember I told you that they towed her car to see if there was an air tag on there to see they're going to use her infotainment to see where she's been so they can try to go and get any place that Nancy has gone. You need to go out and get the camera footage from when she would have been going to those places and to see who's following her. But the government, I believe, called in the KOLD and sent that then to TMZ because that didn't happen until Monday and Tuesday. And KOLD didn't make it public and went to the sheriffs with it. And then okay, well, we're going to have TMZ do it. And it was to then get these people that actually took her to react to say, wait, that's not fucking us. That's not our ransom letter. That's not our Bitcoin. You know what I mean? We didn't do that. And they're over here doing videos saying, we understand you. We have, we got you. We will pay. And it's to get these people to react oh my God, they're about to pay $6 million. Okay. To some account that's not our account. And they're trying to get them to react. And I think that was all by design. And unfortunately, I think that some people out there need to be really careful about what they're doing and how much a story means to them. Because I'll tell you what, if this was my fucking mom and you thought that your fucking story, I would be pissed off. I would make sure that who leaked this to this Banfield woman, right? I want their job. They deserve to get fired. The woman's life is on the line. And you're over here giving out major case details. And it was right. It was all right. Nest cameras, correct. All of it. Ransom. There wasn't nobody was even talking about ransom. Unbelievable. Woo. Remember I told you guys it was someone that had intel with protocol with the law? You're 100% correct. They are smarter than the law in this case, and you are smarter than them in all life. They're not. You have people that aren't. There's some really good detectives out there, and they're really good at their job, and then you have people that just aren't, and it just shows. It takes people I think that you need people that can react and connect dots really, really quick in situations like this. And God, no offense to Joel and whatever, but that's unbelievable that you had 3 people on there and none of them are talking about anything that is worth a goddamn. This is remember when they did the video, the family did the video and they were talking about things can be AI'd, things can be like, we need to know, we need proof of life before we can pay and all that stuff. Remember, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? I was like, they'd seen of something. Yeah, they did. They saw the damn Ring camera. But I was making a big deal about that and I just felt like other people weren't. Like, it was like really bizarre to me. I was like, why aren't we making a bigger deal about this? If we go to her video. Let's go.
Message. We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay.
Now, police have been looking for Nancy Guthrie for more.
So what I believe that was about is it was for the real kidnappers to be like, wait, we have not talked to them at all. Okay. And so it's like, whatever this fake demand number 1 and number 2 were, okay, it's like, what? Yeah. It's very smart. I'm telling you, they knew that they were up against a fucking no dummy. Okay. And that's because I think the family came clean from jump and they said, we know what this has to do with. And this is not about the fucking family. Okay. Like, that's just my opinion. And the other thing is that, hold on, where's the other thing that she said? Go back to that first. Yeah. See this? Fuck this timeline. This timeline, the only thing that's worth a damn is 9:48, 9:50, and 5:32. But right here at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. You guys, disconnects. The doorbell camera disconnects. From what? That means everything that we just saw had to have been way before 1:47. Way before. They were there for way longer than 41 minutes. Way longer. No, they purposely put the wrong timeline out, you guys. They didn't screw up anything. Law enforcement did not screw up a goddamn thing. Law enforcement has been crushing it. Literally crushing this case. And you guys are going to hear about this, but I'll tell you who fucked up. There is one person who was involved in this case that leaked shit to the fucking media. And that media personality was Ashley Banfield. Okay. And that was somebody that was actually there and had a lot of knowledge and leaked it. But it was crucial that didn't get out because the plan all along is to act like we never saw the video. We don't have these cameras. Okay. She didn't have a subscription. So there is no video. So we're acting like we haven't seen anything because you need a subscription in order for it to record. And so what that would do then is it would tell the people that abducted Nancy, they're over here like, wait, what the fuck? Then they haven't seen our ransom note because you only can see it. Or they're thinking, nope, this is all just bullshit. Trust me. They're like, we're going to outsmart them. All right. And so then what I think that they did is because they knew that Ashley was going to speak out about this whole ransom shit. They got in front of that and they sent TMZ and KOLD, the government. When I say they, the FBI sent out this ransom to the media. And then played into the hands of, okay, yeah, we're going to act like these are the people. But really the person that took her is over here like, what the fuck? That isn't us, right? Because what are you trying to get them to do? You're trying to get them to reach out. We're trying to get them to reach out. So we're playing this way. Yeah. Again, mainstream media can go flocking over there. News Nation, FBI SWAT teams swarm bushes around Annie Guthrie's home. Woo! Like, you guys, these are some smart fucking people. All right. This is a one-man band, looks like, right? It's pretty. So law enforcement put out this timeline. All right. Remember, they waited until Thursday to put this out. So you have this happening on Saturday going into Sunday, right? Then you have like all day Sunday. And then Monday at the end of the day is when there's like this little presser. And then Ashley Banfield interviews the sheriff. And then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, like nada. Okay. And then Thursday's this puppy. And that's when I was like, holy shit, we've never been given this much information. This is a lot of information. Because on day one, we weren't getting anything to do with, it was 5:32. She gets picked up, goes to her family's to eat. She comes home at the garage, closes, whatever. And then it was just 11 o'clock. Like the family says that, hey, she didn't come to church. Go look at that video. Let's see. SWAT team. SWAT. I do appreciate your $4.99, Lady Jane. I'm praying for Nancy too. For them to say that they think that she's still alive. You know, I think that they're dealing with the real peeps. They bought them time. We found ourselves in a very real, legit kidnapping for ransom. That video shows you that it wasn't for revenge. The video, unless they killed her on camera, but all of this stuff wouldn't still be going on if that was the case. They would have never let this continue to go on. So I don't think that she was killed on camera. I think that they did exactly what I just told you guys. My gut tells me that depends on how smart the people are. How smart the people are that took her. You cannot. They know that you can't let them take back control. So, remember when Harvey was talking about? Remember we were all wondering. Remember we were all wondering. Okay, we were all wondering, why aren't they reading this note out? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, TMZ would never do this, right? What's going on here? Why can't we know about this note? And now it makes sense, right? Yeah. You can't always just blame Ashley there. Like, the cop had to give her the info. The high level person had to give her the info. I just, you know how many times I've had information, I've never put it out. You just know there's certain things you shouldn't do. And dude, a woman was taken for ransom, and you want to fuck with that. You got a lot of motherfucking nerve. I would never fuck with that. But I have a conscience. Like, I like to sleep at night knowing that. Unbelievable. I think it's bad, but then again, she's asking if Jeffrey Epstein is single in 2012 after knowing that he was, arrested and all of his charges from 2008. So, I mean, come on. What up, Truth Nation? Okay. No, it's not ultimately Ashley's fault. It's it's both of them. It takes two to tango. She probably did a solid for this person during his career with stuff, and then she's like, "Come on, you owe me," and they're going back and forth and whatever. Like, I don't have those type of conversations with people. I don't know what that's like. I don't ever do things. I will never fuck my way to the top. Let's just put it that way. I'll use my brains. I'm good. And wherever it lands me, it lands me. It's like playing a board game against somebody that's a cheater. Okay. I don't play board games against cheaters. And in this industry that I feel like I'm in, it's all about ethical. We all can make mistakes. Mistakes is one thing, but when you're doing something wrong, you know that you shouldn't be doing something.
Is imperative. So investigators have said for several days that they are holding out hope and still believe that she is alive.
But maybe they used Ashley and they said, "Hey, we want you to put this out this way," So I don't know. I just don't feel that that's what happened in this case, but it could be. People's lives are on the line. This is something that we've never seen before. I don't know. If a case is just like a case to you, like, how do you talk to sources that are like parents that have lost a child and they're just like a case to you? I don't know. It's not like that for me. And I think I just put myself in other people's shoes.
Although they have not received proof of life, they also have not received evidence of anything else. So they believe that she is still out there. And this video may indicate that the Guthries also believe that she is still out there. Again, that video asking and begging the abductors to return their mother to them so that they can celebrate with her. And they go on to say, "This is very valuable to us. We will pay." Corey?
And Dana, I found it interesting. Savannah's the 7 key words from the very beginning of Savannah's message. We received your message and we understand. It does sound like there are details that they want to communicate further to whoever may have taken their mother, but cannot possibly because of the very delicate nature of this situation. But it does sound like there might be details there they cannot convey as they delicately try to reach their mother. And this just speaking about 2 messages that we have at least been able to speak with authorities about. But Dana, are authorities concerned in general about just the deluge of messages, tips, and other?
Welcome, new members. They aren't worried about blowing it now. That isn't going to upset the kidnappers. No, I think maybe they made payment. What if they made a payment? We have no idea if they made a payment. I think there may have been some payment made. I think there may have been proof of life. I will tell you this. Savannah put the word out that we believe our mother is still alive. We believe our mother is still alive. that is why say that? Why still fuck with the media? Why does anything have to be out there publicly? Why does anything have to be out there, publicly? And it's like, maybe just in case their mom, it's for our mom. We're not putting this out for any of you people, but this is our only way to communicate with our mom if she is alive. So I truly think this is going to change a lot going forward with Savannah's life, and I question if she's going to be coming back with the Today Show. I think that she likes to write books, and I think that she should write a book about this, and I think that she should be honest about why this ever happened. Why did they do this to her family and her mother? I think that, and she shouldn't lie about it, and she shouldn't use it as it should be the truth. Whatever led to this, tell the truth. Okay? I don't want to see, if it has something to do with political, whatever, tell the truth. Tell the truth. But spinning this, I'll blow it up if they try to spin this shit. They had that fucking video from Jump. I know they had that video from Jump. I'm not an idiot. All the signs are there that they had, like with what we have right now, they had that video from Jump. And I get why they did what they did. This is all sad. Here we go. JLR. Let's see what he's doing. We should buy him a damn drink. I don't think he drinks, though. I think they're just still going around house to house. Remember I told you guys like a bunch of Airbnbs were around there? If they gone through all these cameras and they're like, listen, there is no vehicle that left up out of there at that time because we have block cameras and like this, they had to have been in this radius then. They couldn't have never left this little, area. Maybe they have her cell phone and they're trying to connect to her pacemaker. I know that I like that idea that Murky had put out. I really, really like that idea.
Going to the next house.
Oh my God. JLL, do you have like a wooden leg? What is that? He's like, no, it's my nutsack, bitch. Okay. Thanks, JLR. Just chatty.
I might not be seeing stuff here. I don't know. This is tucked in.
He's like, that's my nuts.
Oh, wait. There's more. There's more agents there. There's 2 more agents. Now we got 5 agents at this house.
It's his tripod? Oh, I thought it was his baby arm.
Or 5 law enforcement. It's a combination, but
I love JLR. You guys know that.
see if I can get a good view.
Battle up.
Oh, wait. Here's more agents. Here we go. Door to door. FBI. They're all over the place. I'm telling you. They're canvassing the neighborhood.
You guys, what are they doing? This is great. Canvas.
Oh. We'll just follow.
Can you find out if SWAT is gearing up?
Hi, guys. Can you see us?
Sorry.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Maybe they just want to know if they're the owners.
Hey, Scotty, how's our signal? Is it pretty strong?
Let's see.
Are you taking hit? Pretty strong. I've got so many people talking to me at once. What's up? One more time, guys. What would you like? I mean, you tell me what. Okay, you've got the picture.
If that guy would shut the fuck up. Oh, they have something up. They said, come on in. Oh, they want to talk right inside.
You can see them inside though, but all right, they went
Wait,
in
they're
there.
staying right there.
Let's go out here and wait.
I have to
And then
know
there's a
exactly where this is
secondary
at. Because I'll tell you what I'd be asking.
Microsoft, MS, didn't they change their name? MSNBC change their name to something?
I don't think they would label it though. I think it was. They had a health symbol.
Okay, medical, MS.
MS.
Yeah. All right, folks.
Okay, they're using. Oh, wow. What the fuck are they doing? You're telling me this is. They haven't gone around to these houses and asked for neighborhood canvassing? They are neighborhood canvassing. Like, she is looking at her app right now and looking to see what is on her Ring camera. Oh my God. Now, either, like I said, this is all a ploy. But I'll tell you this, they didn't do it since people have been there. Let's see where the cameras would be.
Two FBI's. I'm gonna go back around.
God damn it. Fucking A.
Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
Like, they know they're coming. They wanted to go through his property. Pretty much he said the same thing as they wanted to go through his property. He said he works for the government. So what it appears too is these neighbors keep waiting, like they know they're coming.
What? You guys, if he's carrying his tripod, is he like literally letting it bang on the ground? Okay.
Lewis, over here. Yeah, just don't worry about it.
There you go, JLR. Good job.
That looks like Nancy Pelosi. Is that I thought it was Nancy Pelosi. No, I mean, it kind of looks like Nancy Pelosi. What do you think?
Apparently, movement in Bitcoin account according to TMZ. Tell TMZ to go fuck themselves. I'm telling you, it's wild. It's a wild, wild west out there. I knew it. I knew when Brian Enton flew out there. Notice how he didn't come to Columbus. We don't leak. Columbus strong, baby. I'll hold us down here. Don't worry. I got us. Just gotta laugh sometimes. You guys crack me up. I try to take a look at these comments, and I'm like, if I look at the comments, then I just totally get sidetracked. And then I see some of them, and I'm like, I'm laughing, but yet I don't highlight them. And then you guys are probably like wondering, like, what the hell am I laughing about? Oh. TMZ equals feds. Ugh. Columbus strong, baby. Speaking about the Columbus case, we got movement over there. We got some new documents. We have a new court date. God, wow, okay. They have a Ring camera. Oh, look at that. They have a motion light too. Watch this light. Ready? I think they're asking them who lives here, how many people live here, who lives here. They need to. They need to go. They need to find out the Airbnbs. Okay, this is what this tells me. That they've determined right now. They have reason to believe that All
right, we're on the move.
See that lockbox right there? That is what you have on your house when you're an Airbnb house. Damn, Lana. Fucking told them to do this shit, what, 72 hours ago? It's what you put on your, it's also for Airbnbs, for Verbo, all that shit. When we looked it up, I was like, oh my God, there is hella Airbnbs up in that area. Hella Airbnbs. They're running plates. I mean, this is a true neighborhood canvas, just so we're clear. This is what you're supposed to do. If they would have done any of this, in a lot of cases, shit wouldn't be. But you're supposed to do this shit twice. Like, I mean, you can do it like 10 times. But you're supposed to do it like right away. And then you're supposed to do it like after a couple, you know. The big thing is to see who lives there, who's normally there, and what kind of vehicles they drive. So then you can start eliminating cars.
We'll wait out here for the.
Like they didn't do any of that in the Idaho 4 case.
The FBI.
There is, unless the feds did it. Unless the feds did it because we don't have that report. But in that area, day one, okay, who lives here? Name. Okay, and what's your vehicle? Boom, you know what I mean? Like that is the neighborhood. Right? Where do you work? Are you a student? Where do you work? Okay, you're a student. Okay, and then whatever you're asking about, you know. Come
around. Sun is going down soon. Sun goes down 45
And if you're wearing a
minutes,
body
might be
cam,
out
you don't
here
got to write shit down.
through the dark.
You just get them saying stuff. What kind of house is this? Oh.
So the FBI agents now are at Crossroads, an adult care community.
Mm-hmm. Remember I was telling you guys about the senior rec centers? shit. Get the fuck out of here.
More agents. More agents just popped up. Look at this. More agents. Sheriff
And so what they usually like see as a sheriff, I bet you that's a sheriff, a fed.
Maybe just sheriff. No, he has FBI.
And
He has FBI on his hat, FBI on his
Yeah.
hat, and sheriffs.
They're putting them in teams.
Let's go follow them. There's law enforcement everywhere up here. Look, there's a white van here.
And all of them are supposed to have a report at the end of everything that they've done. Like, you shouldn't just be relying on, okay, hey, you know, this girl right here is going to write reports that wherever we want. No.
Dude, they're all
That's not
over
protocol.
this neighborhood. How else have we walked?
JLR. JLR, go get them some water.
It's home. With the FBI on this, they're together.
Yeah. That's what's supposed to keep people honest as well. You know, when you go and do like an interview and you have somebody that's like, hey, here's a local, you know, MPD person, right? And then you have an ISP person and then you have a Fed. Okay, those three people all taking notes, all would have a report. It's supposed to keep you honest as well. They all have a list. That's what they're looking at on their phones. They're looking at the list. Okay, the next house. This is who. Actually, I'll print what I have out. This is the address. This is who owns the property. When they were running like their TLOs, this is what they would do.
Wait, there's more. There's more agents there. There's 2 more agents. Now we got 5 agents at this house. There's 5 agents here at this house. Or 5 law enforcement. It's a combination, but see if I can get a good view up here. Oh, wait. Here's more agents. Here we go. Door to door. FBI. They're all over the place. I'm telling you. They're canvassing the neighborhood hard.
This tells me that they. But see how nobody has like. Is that guy even armed?
Hi guys, can you see us?
Can you see us? Can you hear me running? Hey guys, can you see us? Can you hear me? Breaker 19.
Hey Scott, how's Scotty? How's our
And then this is when they get back over to this house and they go inside and they want privacy.
Worry about the sun anymore. Now our enemy is darkness.
What is that, a temple?
We're probably going to do this throughout the night, maybe.
Throughout the night, JLR. Yep, they're getting ring. They're asking for ring camera footage. This just blows my mind. Unbelievable. Why is it blowing your mind? They were poking a stick in the ground without gloves the other day. Blows my mind. All of this stuff blows my mind. Blows my mind that we're watching this on television. Making a map. Get a map out. You know, fucking area. Get the maps going. Sherry, send me a map of Annie's. I want like 2 streets over from where her house is, north, south, east, west. Let's see what's in dire that we need to be neighborhood canvassing right now. Let's see what we get. Yeah. TMZ reporting activity in the Bitcoin account. Again, you guys, okay. All right. We got the camp right here. The light camera is coming from 5825 North Serrata Chica Street, which is right across from where Nancy lives. It's 5825. That's the house where I believe the light source is that you see on the Ring camera. And it goes up a hill. So
And as you see with some other video, they have been searching backyards and even the wash in this neighborhood here near the home of Savannah Guthrie's older sister, Annie Guthrie, as the investigation and the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
all right, let's see what we got here. Map.
With the release of images of an individual seen outside of the home of Nancy Guthrie, estimated about the time when she disappeared.
Okay, I need you to blow up 925. Let's go like this. TMZ, the National Enquirer television. Shout out to us in CBUS. Hey, 1 membership. Thank you so much. A new member, Melissa. New member, April.
All right, folks, so they went into this home here. And there's reports that TMZ saying there's activity in the Bitcoin account.
Yeah.
That's circulating. It's coming from TMZ reporting activity in Bitcoin account. Wait for the agents to come out. Another agent coming back out.
I can see his gun. He's got a gun on him. He's strapped. There it is. You see it? Yeah, I see your piece. Always strapped when I hit the club. Just give me that. Bitches give me and since I'm paid. There we go. God, I'm gonna be covering Scott Perky tonight, the interview. Get totally a cup of popcorn. Beep beep. Beep beep. $925. What was that address? 925. Fuck. West Tierno. If this has anything to, it just doesn't. Okay.
It's excellent. All right, folks. JLR Investigates out here a few blocks away from Tommaso and Annie Guthrie's
What
home.
street are you on?
And agents are going canvassing the neighborhood. Pima County Sheriff deputies are with them. And they are going door to door, all types of locations. They got notebooks on them. They're pointing out places they need to go and places.
I don't see any body
what has been
cams.
checked and what hasn't been checked.
What was that place that they were at? That Crossroads, right? Crossroads assisted living. Gotcha. Ooh, they are just literally. Woo, doggy. Crossroads assisted living. What was going on over there? There's only like one car over there in the parking lot. That is 2 streets away. And literally, I'm going to print that. Does Annie have a Ring camera? We have the paperwork on the Guthrie's septic and all that.
So they're still at this particular house here. We'll see them coming down here shortly.
News about they are in Tucson. So the Bitcoin people, whatever that address is. Remember I was telling you guys just put money in it and start tracing the shit. Okay? Like let's trace it. Probably because of my reporting. So this is what they said. Nancy Guthrie, first activity in Bitcoin account. Kidnapper is from Tucson. Law enforcement believes. 4:34 p.m. This is Pacific time. We've seen activity for the first time in the Bitcoin account listed in the first ransom note, which was sent to us here at TMZ. The first ransom note. And also 2 TV stations in Tucson. For various reasons, we are not going to reveal the amount, but the activity happened in the last 25 minutes. Well, guess what? It's definitely not a full payment. Multiple sources involved in the investigation tell TMZ the operating theory is that the ransom notes were written by the kidnapper, and those notes provide clues on where the abductor lives. What? Oh my God, then maybe you should have given this to somebody that can connect dots. Holy shit. What? Oh my God. Again, guys, this is if you want to believe this, okay? TMZ has focused for several days on the alleged kidnapper's choice of media outlets, and I'm telling you guys that this is bullshit. I am telling you guys that this is bullshit. Okay? I'm telling you guys, if I'm wrong, I will come out and be like, yep, guys, look I was wrong. Okay, look at the crime scene. I'm going to leave clues and let you all know where I live. Come get me. What? This is what they say. TMZ has focused for several days on the alleged kidnapper's choice of media outlets to receive the letters. The first letter was sent to 2 Tucson TV stations and TMZ. The second letter was sent to only one of the Tucson stations. Our law enforcement sources believe the person who wrote the ransom note was very familiar with the local stations. So much so that it leads them to believe the Tucson area is the abductor's home. As we reported, the kidnapper's promise to return Nancy to Tucson within 12 hours. You never said 12. Remember, we were all trying to figure out because you were just mathing it without speaking. Within 12 hours of receiving the $6 million ransom, which means they're currently somewhere within a 700-mile radius. This is all new. Please play what? What am I playing? Please play what? I'm playing. Lana, please play this. Found her.
It's not the medical examiner, but it was some weird. Did you see the truck then with the MS sign and the?
I did.
What is it?
No, it must be something. You know, somebody called in.
Listen to this shit. There were 2 ransom deadlines, both of which have passed. Even though Today host Savannah Guthrie tried reaching out to the kidnapper and offered to pay up. What is that from like the... Oh. Listen to that sentence. There were 2 ransom deadlines, both of which have passed. ... Even though Today host Savannah Guthrie tried reaching out to the kidnapper and offered to pay up. Our sources say the images the FBI released Tuesday of the apparent kidnapper were just obtained by authorities. And I'm telling you, fuck all the way off. No. The FBI wasn't holding on to the images before releasing them. Why would they put them out when they got them? Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Let me just eat my... Okay. Sorry, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not buying. The feds got them and immediately blasted them out publicly. Well, that would be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. What a great plan. Dude, this is TMZ's writing. But you know what? People just believe it. People just believe this shit. That would have to be the dumbest investigative decision ever that you would ever hear in like your life. We're just gonna blast these. We just got them, guys. You can have them. Come on, y'all. This isn't major screw up. I just can't believe that TMZ is just continuing to anyone with information is asked to contact. I'm going to call contact. You guys need help? Reward. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the recovery of Nancy.
Sorry.
Let's take a look at this. Idiots. I cannot believe that they really are trying to tell people. You guys, the FBI just found those photos and they just blasted them out. Dude, nobody is talking. They want to talk about, we have sources. Lana saw 2 suspects. What?
Try to get in a van.
Lana. What do you got, Lana? Well, I think that this is absolutely ridiculous.
You want to follow? Yeah, I'll drive.
Oh.
I'll drive. I think they're all getting in their vehicle.
What's going on here? We got movement. Pokemon Go.
Good job, man. You're turning left. Agents. Go ahead. Just gonna kind of see where they're going.
JLR, ride their asses.
Give my
just
legs a rest.
Yeah. Ride their asses, JLR. Tailgate them. All right, guys, welcome back to Truth and Transparency. If you're just joining us, TMZ trying to pump out this narrative that says the following. Nancy Guthrie, first activity in Bitcoin account. Kidnapper is from Tucson, law enforcement believes. Published February 10th and it was updated at 4:41 p.m. So that was like 15 minutes ago. At 4:34 p.m., we've seen activity for the first time in the Bitcoin account. Here, we'll just let you hear it straight from the mouth of these idiots. Like they can just, here you go. No shame. TMZ. We'll come right back to JLR.
I believe now that.
Okay, here we go.
I looked at this alleged ransom note 20 times last night, and there was something that piqued my interest from the beginning. And I believe now that there is a way of connecting the dots, and that law enforcement has an area that they are most interested in terms of where Nancy might be, if this letter is legit. And I say it for this reason, that obviously the person who took Nancy, if this is the person who wrote this ransom letter, they're demanding money. And if they get the money, they're saying they will return her. That's obvious. After they receive.
Hold on 1 second. This is the old one. This is not his new one. Hold on. This is Common Core Math. Okay. Wait, is this it? This might be the new one.
In terms of where Nancy might be, if this letter is legit. And I say it for this reason, that obviously the person.
There's renewed hope in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of NBC's Savannah Guthrie. The FBI recovered images off her doorbell camera of someone they now call a subject of interest. NBC's Jennifer Bjorklund has the details.
It is as gut-twisting to watch as it is hopeful that this is at last a glimpse.
I want to talk about where we are right now in this broader timeline of the story, because you and I are sitting here, it's about 1:15.
And as we continue to follow more breaking news this afternoon, law enforcement is now investigating the neighborhood of Annie Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's sister, this afternoon. News 4 Tucson's Jacob Owens has been talking with neighbors about what they know and what they're seeing. Jacob.
Yeah, Sean, as new tips have come in, investigators are following up on them. That is seeing them this afternoon in this neighborhood. There is a Pima County search and rescue vehicle just down the street. We also have federal law enforcement officials who have been active in this neighborhood. It's a neighborhood of one of Nancy Guthrie's daughters, Annie Guthrie, and officials here have been looking in backyards, looking in people's yards, in the homes around Annie Guthrie's, and that's continued. We'll show you exactly what we've seen this afternoon. This video is from earlier. These investigative efforts involved FBI officials as well as the Pima County Sheriff's Department. None of the neighbors I spoke with so far wanted to go on camera. However, several spoke off camera. Multiple neighbors say law enforcement asked them if they had cameras and if those devices had seen anything suspicious. Those that live here also say law enforcement was just asking to look around. John Grove, he's a neighbor who lives in the area, and he told me that an FBI agent at his door, along with two other officials, declined to confirm that the case that they were in the area for, but they did ask if they could look around in the desert around his home. He was fine with that, and we've heard that from many neighbors. They're welcome to law enforcement searching in the desert around here. Grove told me, here I am a neighbor, and I don't really know what's going on. Sean, that kind of captures a sentiment we've heard from many neighbors.
You're asking for my consent. You're not going to tell me what you're here for. Yeah. Sorry. Have a good day. What can I help you with? You know, what can I help you with? Oh, I was just wondering if I can look in your yard. No, you can't. I mean,
I'm good.
Okay, let me know. I'll pop it out for you.
Legs a rest.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's why when we
I
started
could stand out
walking-
there up for get off. So and
unreal. Can we look in your shed and shit? Okay, you know what other thing could be is if they actually found the person and now they went to the person's home and they just weren't there that they believe, and then they're like somebody's storing this person, like, you know, they're just hiding out. This is bizarre. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
all right, go. We're on the move. We're on the move.
Let's go back at this map. Map it up. Ooh, ooh. All right, so I think they would be on. Let's see. They don't have any dogs with them. That woman had a dog.
Dude, this guy here's the Associated Press. He's a beast.
He's a
been running,
beast.
tagging along with me.
Okay, take a look. What's
This
that
guy
street?
right here? He's been out there. He's AP.
Los? Yes.
And then this individual
Los,
here on the
Gadia.
left, she
Los Palmas Drive. Okay.
also has been
Holy
carrying
shit
this
balls.
nonstop for
They're
hours
going
too.
back towards it.
They're going strong.
They're right now. They're on North Escondado, Dildo, something like that. They got Los Alamos. They got Los Palmas. They got Los
Kinda easier
Lamitas.
driving like this than walking, to be honest.
God, talk about.
But
telling
yeah,
your friends
I
to
think
come
they're on their
over.
way back. I think this has got to be wrap up before it gets dark, don't you think?
Okay, they're at 54. They're at 5740. That's what that house is right there.
Split up.
They got that like wall thing. Yeah.
They
Mm-hmm.
might be walking back.
What time is it?
6.
6. Sun's going down soon.
6 o'clock.
These are FBI and sheriff going around the homes near Annie and Tommaso.
Yep, right there's
Boots
Los
on the
Alamos.
ground. JLR
Right?
investigates. 857 Tucson is with me.
Guys, I got him.
Wow,
I
what
got
a
him.
crazy day from
I got
pizza
him in the air. Here we go.
to law enforcement activity.
They're walking back towards
SWAT on their
the
way
house.
out, it appears.
So the next
Possibly
street is
connected
theirs.
Here. Bitcoin activity.
Ternera.
Where is-
It's part of theirs. Wow. They were up all the way over there.
Nancy.
It's because
No, I'm good. Okay.
there's only
I'm good.
a couple ways into the complex. You either have to go Northern Hills Drive or the street that they're on right now. Escondado. This is gonna like wrap around. It goes to the left. Yeah, right there. That's sharp left right there. That's their street. Annie Street.
This is insanity, folks.
Well, it looks like they're done.
We'll see. I think it's going to be a busy night.
JLR, he's in for the double.
I am now I'm getting onto Tommaso and Annie's street right here. This could be their street here, but now we're going around
It is their street.
The curve.
This is the curve.
And then
This
it's
is
about
their
straight
street.
away, and then it'll take you right to their house. It's like we're less than a quarter mile away from Annie and Tommaso's home.
Way less than. It's gonna be up on your right. Look at the way that those streets are. Like, talk about just like, damn, I never knew. Like, I mean, I've never been to this area.
How much time you got on your?
I got about another hour.
Okay. If you could, if we can get back, just so I can run home 20 minutes before you shut off, because it's streaming online too.
Oh, really?
What?
So if it shuts off, it'll
yeah
start playing.
Who's this guy holding you back, JLR? Who's holding you back? Nobody holds JLR back. Wait, is that a delivery guy? No, just another Kia. Looks like a Honda. I mean, looks like a Hyundai.
Looks like people are back at Annie and Tommaso's home.
Yeah, I think some big media, some of them are doing their late shots there.
As the
Streaming 11:14. Okay.
I mean, you know what they could have done, you guys, is they could have actually made a bunch of phone calls. I mean, I don't recommend it, but whatever.
Yeah, we could go see what the scene at Nancy.
I don't want to be your
If there's still
one-man
activity and they're going
band.
door to door, I can set up a new stream. But what
I
was
don't
that?
want to be your
Dude, a coyote.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah,
This is
coyote.
the time they come out.
The
right
coyote. Look, there's a coyote.
Yeah, they're going back to the house. But they could have called people and asked them, do you guys have ring camera footage?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just...
There's coyotes out here, but that's the crazy thing. Is there a body out
tells me
here
that the
when
flocka
coyotes
flocka
get
waka
the body?
flocka is saying...
Would they?
Eventually they would, yeah.
maybe after they dropped Annie, or after they dropped her off, that he didn't go straight home.
This is FBI, folks. Neighborhood is swarmed. I don't know where they're going. They're
She
leaving.
would drive a Subaru.
I don't know where they're going.
Lana, that's not nice.
Well, these two are.
Come on, she looks like a Subaru driver. Total Subaru driver.
At Nancy's house. Plus,
I switched over my.
Right, so now we're at Annie and Tommaso's home. Let me
He's totally
zoom this
a Chevy
out.
guy.
Okay, he's there.
Totally.
All right.
All bald guys are.
So now we are
all about them Chevys. Chevy tuned up like a NASCAR
crazy.
pickup.
Crazy stuff, wasn't it?
Could you have seen her? I was gonna peg her there. That's what I was gonna say. Either she's driving a Jeep Wrangler or a Subaru. Definitely not a soccer
Let
van.
me just ground. It looks like everything is wrapped up.
Vanna,
Let me
JLR
just
is
see.
driving around. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we came from. Who are you with?
Who are you talking to, JLR?
Yeah. Sorry, we met earlier.
Who's that chick?
JLR. What's your name?
JLR?
JLR.
JLR investigates.
Georgia. Yeah, you missed it, Georgia. It happened 2
Georgia, what you doing, girl? I know you ain't hitting on my man.
hours ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew that. I just thought maybe they were still like around.
No, they just got in their vehicles.
Yeah,
Georgia, I ain't
That's why
playing,
I said
girl.
that, but
I will cut you.
Well, it's dark or whatever. Like
Girl, Magnolia is on one. Girl.
that quick.
Well, that agent said he just finished all of his work or whatever. This one, so I think they're wrapping it up.
Do you
Let me
like
put in the
cats?
address for
What's up?
Nancy?
What's up?
There's a 5.
See
You
ya.
take care.
You do that. Buckle up. Is that her right there, JLR?
I said you missed it.
JLR, is that Georgia? Sweet Georgia Brown? I'm going to cash app
All
right
right, so
now.
we're 10 minutes away.
Buy Georgia a damn drink.
All right, so let's just do a quick drive around here, folks. We're gonna see what's going on. We'll put this in here.
Look at Georgia getting on camera. $10 to JLR.
See what's
Hey,
happening.
Jonathan Lee Riches. Buy Georgia. Buy Georgia a drink. Hey. Okay, sent.
This is Annie and Tommaso's home right here. On the right. This is their home. They got their security people there. No one is home. There's just media crawling all over the place here.
JLR is on the main road.
Still people doing.
JLR, this is what it looks like. This is where he's heading back to his hotel. JLR, do not give up where you live. Do not let people know that.
That was a wild, crazy last 3 hours. That was insanity.
JLR, better.
Something gets them to think that she's in that neighborhood. Right?
JLR, you better.
Either that or they're just checking the
What do you mean I'm behind the screen, man? JLR's flying. JLR's going flying. Look at him.
The night into the morning around the corner from Annie.
I got JLR at five times speed, man. Oh, thank you. My face looks like a 20-year-old. Yay.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
I'm just showing you the area.
At the stop sign, turn right onto North First Avenue.
I think this is the most whacked out shit I've ever seen in my life.
And folks, I appreciate all the support. I
JLR.
can't read your comments, and I haven't in a while.
Read my
No
super chat.
disrespect.
$10 to buy Georgia a drink. Be a gentleman.
Thank you very much.
Just read it, goddammit.
Thank you very much.
I'll just go text him. Fuck it. I'm just
Thank you
gonna call
so
him.
much for the food today. The pizza was delicious.
JLR, what are you doing?
And I'm gonna go into these crumbles later too.
Georgia was trying to hit on you.
I got
Did you
so
not-
much food, I don't
did
even
you
have
not
to
see
go
that?
out to eat.
Georgia was throwing game.
Got
You weren't even
pizza.
paying attention.
Crumbles.
Stop thinking about Annie
Snacks.
and Nancy and Savannah. Think about yourself just a little bit, okay?
Go past North Camino Arturo and turn left onto East Via Entrada.
JLR,
Entrada.
I love his camera. You guys do know that the new iPhone cameras are sick. They have
Entrada.
you have the update. They have the new stabilization. Like, it's amazing now. So I'm a fan. Look at this. Look at this quality. I feel like
Here's
we're
the
right there.
It's not far. They don't live far.
Looks beautiful there. Yeah. Looks really secluded. Very easy to get away with crime. That's what it looks like to me.
You know that guy that was with us the whole day with the glasses, the bald hair?
Yes.
People are posting.
Yeah, they think did it. Yeah, what's his name?
I didn't even get it. I have.
Yeah, the guy with us. People have been posting thinking he's the guy.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you who should be happy that I'm busy right now. Should be Turtle Boy. All right, because I'm about to put my foot down for the fucking shit that's going on over there in Massachusetts. Ridiculous. Okay, we are going to end it here. I'm going to be doing the Scott Perky live at 9:30, and then if something breaks, I will make us known about it. But I will be doing an update with what's going on in Karen Reed's case, Turtle Boy's case, and I guess the new thing is to call sexual assault victims, I don't know, liars. You know, Ray for Dallas allegedly was having some kid suck his dick or some shit like that. I don't fucking know, but it's wild over there. And Sherry is my witness. I told Sherry right after the verdict in the Karen Reed case, I said, watch what happens to a couple people that covered the Karen Reed case. Watch. So Sherry is my witness. Yeah. So, oh my God, yes, come help Mass and expose. He's doing a perfectly job. He's his own worst enemy. It's all coming out. I have a playlist that talks about his fight for First Amendment is not a First Amendment fight. So I disagree. I love my First Amendment, and I saw a lot of people exercising their First Amendment with the Karen Reed case, and I didn't see anybody getting, framed up for 19 witness intimidation charges. I do my own homework. Then I started deep diving on who Turtle Boy was, where he came from, his whole history, and what I uncovered was this is not his first rodeo, and he has always been somebody like a Michael Proctor. And he was given an opportunity of a lifetime and literally shit the bed. So investigative journalism comes from actually like doing the work and investigating it. And here Karen Reed and her attorneys handed somebody on a silver platter all of their work. So whatever. We'll be back though. Join me tonight at 9. I'm going to bump it up to at 9 o'clock. I'll be doing a live for the Scott Perky interview for the Idaho 4 case. So we'll see you there. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Until the next one. Yes, H-Bag. I'm so glad that you're here, H-Bag. I've missed your fun-loving ass. Kisses. Thanks, moderators. You guys rock. All day, every day. All day, every day. Yes, Julie Bean. Yes, and we finally have arrests as well. So there's a lot going on in Massachusetts, but okay, guys, see you soon.